what the benefits are, and like you're not telling us what the benefits are.
I know, you just said that they get
Like,
other
dude, you
countries
keep on
in
going
line.
back
Like
to
historically
that.
speaking, when we increase tariffs on China, they actually just like put tariffs back on us and reduce agricultural exports and destroy American farmers. So is like
Okay,
destroying
okay,
American farmers
okay.
putting China in line?
So tell me what the correlation is to that, to the exchange rate changes after that specific thing, and then talk
Over
about,
the $1 Venmo. What the
you know
fuck
what
are
I
you
mean?
talking about
So
with exchange rates?
yeah, exactly. Like, what are you talking? Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
why I know
the
that you're
exchange
not
rate for the
knowledgeable.
United States dollar will go down if you actually decrease the the incentive to like engage in trade with the United States. When you increase tariffs, especially universally, you're decreasing the incentive to engage in trade with the United States, which devalues the United States dollar in terms of exchange rate.
Yes.
Cameron, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
Listen, I'd like to talk more about this, topic, and kind of like educate y'all on all these like
Okay.
things. But I gotta go.
One last question. How many?
But I gotta wait, Andrew. Before you go, can you tell me what market equilibrium is?
Yeah, answer his question.
So, are you talking about like in the stock market, or
No, just tell me what is market equilibrium.
Yeah, exactly. Like market equilibrium. You talking about like? Listen, I mean, I could go on and on about this, but I really got to go.
No, what is
really
market
gotta go,
equilibrium? Colin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. This is the first thing that you will learn in like your 2010 intro macroeconomics.
What is market equilibrium?
Market equilibrium is where suppliers match demanders. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. Did you just look it up?
He did, because why would he say that? It's talking
I have
about
my master's.
You have a master's? No, you don't.
Of course he looked it up, because he said, "Are you talking about in the stock market?"
No.
15 seconds.
No,
and then
I do
said
have my
the
master's.
definition.
I don't believe you. Tell me
Oh
what-
my God, Efi, thank you so much for the $100 on
Yes.
PayPal. Oh my God, let's get 1,000 Efis in the chat. That is IFE. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for the $100 donation. That is absolutely absurd.
Andrew, real
Thank
question
you.
before I go as well. You said you have a master's in econ. Can you tell me what price elasticity of demand is?
I have a master's in finance. I took a few economics, but what was your question?
Never mind. That was. I mean, do you know what price elasticity of demand is? You said elasticity earlier.
Yeah. Basically, like if think about like if you lower the prices on something, that means that like more revenue, comes in from that.
What the fuck are you saying? No,
so like
price
gas.
elasticity of demand is essentially for a given change in price, what would be the percentage change in demand, right?
That's what I exactly said.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Good luck today, everyone. This is brutal. I'll be on probably like 1:30, bro, and I'll see you again.
Hey,
I'll be on like all day.
Yeah, keep on making your money from
Let's
the DMC.
coast all day. Hey, Andrew, are you mad? Are you jealous, man?
Yo, feel free to pop up again if you want. But I appreciate you so much for coming up, Parker.
No, absolutely will. But deal with a little jealous Andrew right here. Jealous Andrew. He's so fucking jealous.
Well, yeah. Well, I appreciate you. I'll continue talking to jealous Andrew. All right, Andrew. You said that you have to run. I honestly just have one last question for you. You said that you have a master's in finance.
Yeah.
Okay, and how many years did you have to go to school to get a master's in finance?
Well, I mean, I got my bachelor's, and then just took me 2 years about to get my master's.
Okay,
so
how many years as a whole?
Well, I mean, after high school, probably 6 years.
Okay, so if you have a master's in finance, I just want to ask you a question. Why is Kamala Harris's proposed tax policy bad?
I got to go.
Oh, that's terrible. That is so fucking bad, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. We're gonna go and get our next guest up in the box literally right now. Well, that is quite a way to start the stream for the night. That is so funny. That is so funny. My soul's rejuvenated. Hello, Joseph. Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Oh no, dear God, why?
I am voting for Trump.
God, why would you ever do that?
Shit, I don't know.
Brand, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying that I'm funny. You're funny.
I'm a smart guy, right, Dean?
You're I don't know. I mean, if you're voting for Trump,
Of
Probably
course.
not.
Just solely off of that, right? I'm brilliant.
Okay, well, prove your brilliance by telling me why Trump is a better presidential candidate than Harris.
Why is he a better? Well, he was the president.
Bog,
Kamala
thank you for
Harris was
manifesting.
never the president. So just off of that alone, you could say he's a better candidate. I mean, what has Kamala really done?
First of all, her name is pronounced Kamala. And then second of all, she was more active as the VP of our country than Trump was as a president.
No, she was not.
Okay, so she helped influence the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, the American Rescue Plan, the Chips and Science Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act. Can you please tell me five or more policies that Trump influenced to get passed?
What did she? Okay, what did she? The border. Why hasn't she done anything for that?
So we could talk about the border next, but I wanted to see if you could answer my question. You said that Donald Trump was definitely more active as a president than she was as a VP. So Kamala Harris helped in. So could you mind if I finish talking?
Well, yeah, you already asked the question though.
But you obviously didn't hear it, or you would have responded, right? So do you need me to ask it again?
Well, yeah, but you can't just ask me. I'm asking you questions.
Thank you for the $2 on Venmo, and Ken, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo as well. Let's get some W's in the chat for Ken with the $20 and Ashley with the $2. Thank you, Ken and Ashley.
This isn't just you asking questions. I asked you a question, you didn't answer it either.
Well, you asked me a question after I answered mine. I have no problem talking.
I asked you the question first.
Okay, you didn't.
Yeah, I did, but okay. You probably don't even remember the question, but okay.
No, so I sat here and I told you that she was more active as VP than he was active as president.
Okay,
right? And then I told you 5 policies that she influenced to get passed. And then I asked you to say the same 5 policies for Trump. And then you didn't answer, and you asked me about Kamala Harris and the border. I have no issue. Hey, Joseph, do you mind if I finish, man?
But you told me one thing.
Can we have a conversation without speaking over one another?
No, absolutely, but don't tell me to say 5 policies, but you name one thing and then you're like, oh, can we name 5 policies? You're just trying to make somebody sound stupid.
So I named 5. I named 5. So Kamala Harris.
You did not name 5.
I did. I'll say them again. Kamala Harris helped influence the Infrastructure Bill, the PACT Act, the American Rescue Plan, the Chips and Science Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act. We'll do 6. She actually also passed the most tie-breaking votes in the Senate out of any VP that we've had in American history. So if Trump was more active as president than she was as VP, can you please tell me 5 pieces of legislation that he helped influence to get passed?
What are the resources behind that?
Congress.gov?
Where'd you get that? Yeah, okay. Explain in depth each of those policies.
Okay, sure. The infrastructure bill invested $1 trillion into local communities across the U.S. to spur their economies, to renew their infrastructure, and to create manufacturing and construction jobs. This was to help renew and rebuild the economy after the reductions in economic growth as experienced under the pandemic. The Chips and Science Act particularly invested $27 billion into U.S. chip producers such as Intel or NVIDIA, specifically so we will be producing 20% of the global chip supply by 2030, when right now we would produce 0, right? The Inflation Reduction Act spent over $240 million investing investing into things such as fracking, so we could increase our ability to make use and produce things such as crude oil. And it's also the largest multi-million-dollar investment into renewable energy resources ever. And it's also deficit reducing over the long term, so it has marginal impacts on reducing inflation. The PACT Act invested $800 million into expansion of VA healthcare benefits, right, to particularly provide new benefits to over 1 million veterans, covering new things such as toxic burns or burn pits overseas. And then the American Rescue Plan was a bipartisan bill, right, rebounding from COVID, stimulating the economy with a $1.9 trillion, predominantly through things such as stimulus, through the stimmy checks, and that was influenced in the first 3 months of their term. So now I want you to go ahead and name 5 things that Trump influenced to get passed under his term and explain them in depth.
You said 5 policies. Well, Trump is currently not president right now. Neither is Kamala.
No, I'm asking you for 5 things he did under his first term.
Well, I'm talking about this term. All I know is in the first term, what he did is he made it for everybody in America to, like, younger, like, you're 20, right?
I am 20. Oh my God, yo, Nicole.
So
one moment, sir. I apologize for cutting you off. Purdy. Oh my God, Purdy. Thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal, saying I'm so glad you're back. I know we were gone for a couple days, but thank you so much for the love, everyone, right now. W Purdy's in the chat. That is seriously so incredibly kind. We love you here, Purdy. You're always hanging out. And Abbott with the $20. $20 on PayPal as well. Everyone, show some love to Purdy and Abbott. You guys are so very kind. And Marilyn with the $20 on Venmo saying, cookin'. I appreciate you for the love, Marilyn, Abbott, and Purdy. You guys are phenomenal. Go ahead, man. I apologize for cutting you
No,
off. there.
you're
Just wanted to
good.
thank the donors.
Well, Donald Trump. A lot of people. I'm 28 years old, right? And when he was the president, I bought a house, and at that time, you only needed about $75,000 a year to buy a house. Now, with Biden being president, and I'm sure Kamala is not going to make it any better because usually Democrats, things just go up. You're not even able to buy a house. Nobody. It's over 150,000. No, it's $125,000 to be able to buy a house. Nobody can afford that.
Surprisingly,
And-
like the specific figures you just gave there are like spot on. So like good on you for that. But how did the Biden-Harris administration cause houses to be more expensive?
Well, that I do not know. See, like I'm not like one of the people that follow politics in depth, but I just go off of my life, and I was able to buy a house while Trump was president, and then when Biden became president, everything got more expensive. Okay, the groceries skyrocket. It costs $200 a week to buy groceries right now.
That's a little bit of a stretch, but I'll still listen to you.
I mean, if you're with maybe one person, it might be a little less, but if there's two, three people, it could cost $200+ easily.
Okay.
It was a lot cheaper when Trump was president. One of the main reasons why I vote for Trump is mainly off of financial reasons. I'm not seeing like I'm not
responding
like,
to that point.
Okay, yeah, you can go.
So inflation wasn't caused by the Biden-Harris administration. You can't just say because it happened under their term they caused it.
I'm not saying they caused it.
Okay, well, I mean, if they didn't cause it, then why would we hold them responsible? Should I hold Trump responsible for COVID-19 and like the 700 million people that it killed just because it happened under his term? Should we blame that on him?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, then why would we blame inflation onset by the pandemic in every country around the world on the Biden-Harris administration?
So you have to understand, this is what you do. You follow politics. Most people don't do that, so they go off of what they see while the president is.
Sure, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate that. No, dude, I'll be honest. I absolutely understand. I think that you're right in the sense that the average American, right, probably has similar thought processes to you. Okay, right. But my point is, with exposure to more information on these related issues, right, you shouldn't hold to those thought processes because they can be explained, right, as insufficient, right, to cast judgment or to deem the Biden-Harris administration responsible for some of the bad things that have happened under their presidency, right? Like it's really important for us all to learn that no, they didn't cause inflation, right? COVID caused inflation. It wasn't local to the U.S. It was global in every country around the world. But in fact, because of the monumental policy passed through Congress by the Biden-Harris administration, the U.S. had the quickest rebound from the inflation onset by COVID out of any other country in the G7, right? And we could even take this to a whole other level by just like evaluating your logic in a very fundamental way. You're essentially saying when something bad happens in America, the president caused it. Well, we had the highest level of unemployment since the Great Depression under Trump in April of 2020 at 14.8%. So there's no logical difference between you saying that Biden and Harris caused inflation and me saying Trump caused the highest level of unemployment in the last 100 years.
But since Kamala has never been, how do you say Kamala? I can't even say her name. Kamala.
You said it right, bro. Kamala.
Oh, well,
you said it right.
The first time I said it wrong, I didn't really know. But yeah, I see. Like I'm not like for Trump or for Kamala. It's just like.
Okay, then you said it the wrong that time. Just say Harris. Just say Harris.
Okay, Harris. I'm not even doing that on purpose.
No, I know. Like you don't seem to be. A lot of people do say it on purpose, but you seem.
Yeah.
You could call her Harris if that's easier.
Okay, yeah, I'll say Harris. But Harris, what worries me is that she's never been the president, so we really don't know how well she's going to do. I think some of the
Dude. What was one of Donald Trump's main campaigning points in 2015?
one of his main points. I mean, it was definitely
Not being in government, never holding
like
a
being
public politician office, being outside of the swamp, right? Not having that experience in these political related career. But now all of a sudden, right, this year, right, because he was a part of the government, because he served in a public office, because he sat in those positions of power, it's a good thing. But in 2016, 2015, it was a bad thing, right? And here's what I could say. I'd get the argument that, well, Kamala Harris has never been president. Trump has. It should give us reason to vote for Trump if Trump actually did a good job while he was president, but he didn't, dude. He took those 4 years and he was terrible. During those 4 years, he tried to ban all new Muslims from coming into our country. During those 4 years, he tried to overthrow our checks and balances and change the outcome of a federal election just because he didn't like that he lost. During those 4 years, he implemented tax policy that cost nearly $2 trillion, served to the top 1% disproportionately, increased income inequities, right, and didn't achieve any large-scale economic growth when we see some studies by Republicans indicating that they had only added $10 billion to our GDP per year, right? He did a piss-poor job as our president, and the social repercussions were worse because he normalized homophobia, he radicalized Christians, turning it in from a symbol of peace and love to a weapon of hate, and he instituted grape culture and misogyny to a higher degree because, well, now all of a sudden, a lot of Republicans are very apologetic towards the fact that he's raped a woman and even deny her experiences, although she proved them in court. There are so many bad implications.
Wait,
right,
he was
of his
guilty
last
of
4
what?
years.
He was guilty of rape?
Yeah, but we could say grape on TikTok Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not know that.
He was. I mean, it's not talked about enough. I don't fault you for not knowing. No one talks about it nearly enough. And in 2022, Donald Trump was held civilly liable for violently sexually abusing or raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll.
How is he able to go for the president if that's true? You would think that they...
I mean, well, Jeffrey Dahmer, right, could run for president if he was alive today. Right, there's no constitutional clauses
I disagree with
limit
that.
Rapists from running for president. But don't you think the fact that you're questioning why Trump could even run for president in the first place gives you a damn good reason to not vote for him?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, if we're talking about all things like that, like I see, like I said before, I'm going off things of what life was like when he was the president and what life was like when Biden was the president. This is not me being against Trump or Harris.
I get you, bro. Faye, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying that I've missed you, so happy to see you back. Thank you so much for the love. Everyone show Faye some love in the comments.
Do you think
section.
Biden did a good job?
Yeah, I do. I think that they did a monumental job with their policy, right? But that's just been overshadowed by the work of the right to appeal to people's ignorance, right? Negate and disregard their policy and just blame all the bad things that have been happening in the world in the last 4 years on them. Like for a lot of Americans, it sounds incredibly absurd to say that the Biden-Harris administration was really good. Right. And the reason is over the last 4 years, the Republican Party has been dumping millions of dollars into advertising and selling the lie that they caused all the problems in America. Cassidy, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you.
Well, my question is, like I said, I'm not like a expert on this. Why is everything so expensive right now?
For sure, because of COVID. So I'll wrap it up in a nutshell. Okay. COVID hit the world, right? It destroyed supply chains, right? It stopped shipments, and it decreased consumer confidence, and people stopped spending their money. So there was two things that countries around the world could have done. They could have waited it out, which would have caused a recession, or they could have stimulated their economy by injecting money into it, giving money to the consumer that causes inflation, okay? Every single country in the world, right, decided to go the route of negating a recession and stimulating their economy with literal fucking money printing straight to the consumers that caused that inflation. It wasn't local in the US. There's not a country in the damn world that you can name that didn't undergo similar levels of inflation. Our country handled it the best we had the quickest response from that inflation. We had the quickest rebound from the 30-year lows in the stock market. We had the quickest rebound from, like a regressed state of economic growth. We did it the best.
Yo, I love how since me and you are arguing, they're not coming at me no more. In the
Hey, dude, you're being good faith, man. Say it. Anyways, everybody, welcome into the stream. It is so phenomenal to see each and every single one of y'all. We got another week ban on the main account after 40 minutes of being back on it from a prior week ban. Am I like a little upset? Like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know why they have been targeting me so hard. Like right before I left on my trip for Michigan, I had account after account after account get taken down. And like now it's like first day back and we're just already right back at it. It sucks. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 20,000 likes here real quick. And then also do share this live with a handful of friends. We're at 5 shares. Let's just get right back up into that algorithm. The fact that we're right before the election and they're really critical about the content that they want to allow. But yeah, anyways, if you're voting for Trump, let me know in the chat by spamming MAGA. We're going to go and just get our first guest up in of the night, y'all. So everyone just do give us a minute. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump?
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can. Are you voting for Trump?
I actually don't really know who I'm voting for. I was going to ask you what...
Okay, are you driving?
No, I'm in my car. I'm on my lunch break.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure that you're driving because I could hear the car moving in the background, right? It's not like it's sitting still. But as an undecided voter, honestly, what I'd do if I was you is I'd go watch not only my video with Dash, but then also like a handful of the most recent videos on my main account and join my Discord. Those are like great assets and resources for undecided voters, especially right now. And just like expect like more videos from me in like the next week and a half, specifically designed for you and other undecided voters because like you are very important. What's going on, Chaotic? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
All right, and why is that?
So I know we're only a few days away, and I think it's super important for us to get a message out now. And I know that, a lot of viewers of you may not appreciate this, and maybe you won't either. But you've got all these people like Parker and Harry, and they're fine. But then you got other people that show up and talk to Ben Shapiro and all these people, and you're half my age. I'm over 40, and you're super intelligent and doing a good job, and I love all the information you're putting out there. Please keep it up until the election. Trump for prison 2024.
Hey, I appreciate you for coming up, man. I was confused on whether it was going because he said that you may not like it, but you just ended up being a chiller. You were absolutely phenomenal, bro. Base W guess. I appreciate you for coming up. What's up, Colin? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, sir.
All right, why is that?
Well, I have some...
Are you driving?
Say what now?
You're driving. All right. Guys, if you are in the queue, make sure that you're not driving. And for the 1.7 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, make sure to just share out that live. I feel like we could get back into the algorithm, no problem. But we just need to put the work in. So everyone do double tap, share out that live. Y'all already know. What's up? May the 4th be with you. Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
Think of the hands up. So why are you voting for Trump?
I'm voting for Trump because I believe he's the president that's going to keep this country safe.
All right, why so?
What'd you say?
Yeah, how's the rapist felon going to keep our country safe? I mean, if he can't even keep those around him safe.
Wow, that's pretty disrespectful, but...
It's disrespectful to call the shots as they are? Wait, am I disrespecting Hitler by calling him a genocidal maniac? Am I disrespecting Jeffrey Dahmer by calling him a murderer? No. So then why would I be disrespecting Trump by calling him a rapist?
Well, Donald Trump has never been found guilty of that crime ever.
Okay. So yeah, while I'm pulling this up, in the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. But I mean, yeah, just for the record, Donald Trump has been held civilly liable for violently sexually abusing a woman, right? With the judge defining it in the case as rape in the way that we'd colloquially use the term, right?
But he's never been found guilty of the crime of rape, ever.
So here's the verdict form, right? And what they held him liable for was like the penetration of a woman's vajayjay against her will. So,
but a liar like E. Jean Carroll, that case won't be going too far into appeals because it will be overturned.
Okay, so on what grounds does Trump have to appeal the findings of this case that held him liable?
He's a
and not guilty for rape?
disgusting liar, and you happen to make some pretty disgusting, comments yourself, just like Kamala Harris.
So I'm just very curious. You have a lot of conviction in the claim that she's a disgusting liar. How so?
Well, she had a lot of time to make this
Christy,
claim.
Thank you for the $25 on Venmo.
She
1
chose
second,
to
be
make it
quiet.
for the first-
Hey, 1 second. Let's get some W Christias in the chat for the $25. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W Christias down below. Thank you so much. So how do you know that E. Jean Carroll's a disgusting liar? Right after I thank Christian for the $50 on PayPal. 1 week until the election day gift from Norway. Christian, I love you. It's so good to hear from you, man. Let's show some love to Christian and Christian in that chat. Thank you so much. You guys are phenomenal. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's my opinion that she's a disgusting liar.
So what's
And that
one piece of evidence that she submitted to the court to prove to the jury that Trump raped her?
She literally had no pieces of evidence.
Okay, so that's a lie.
She had
Medical
zero
records-
pieces of evidence.
Yeah, so you're lying, right? You could read the court documents and learn for yourself that you're wrong, all right? There's medical records from the 90s, consistency between the testimony and the medical records, her own testimony and the testimony of 7 others, all right? Then there's also the dress that she claimed had Trump's DNA in it that they confirmed to be male DNA, in which then he failed to refuse to provide his DNA back to the court. She also
There was
had
zero
evidence insofar
physical
as disputing and
evidence in the case.
disproving Trump's claims that they had never met with a picture of them together. So when you say that she had no evidence, you're just literally engaging in cult-like activities, repeating what you've heard from
I
Tucker
think you're
Carlson
engaging
and on
in
Twitter.
cult-like activity.
Okay, well,
I mean,
you respond to, so we could talk about what you think of me, but let's like first respond.
This is coming from a guy that says the N-word repeatedly, and we're supposed to take your word for it.
I don't say the N-word repeatedly. That
Yeah,
was a lie.
you do. So we're supposed to take your word for it.
Okay, so why do you think that I say the N-word repeatedly?
Well, you said it a few times, so you probably said it many more. It's evidence, physical evidence, that you say the N-word repeatedly.
Yeah, so what came out, right, specifically speaking, what I've held myself accountable for, what we've been talking about, right, was my...
You can't hold yourself accountable. It's up to other people to hold you accountable. Who gives a shit what you say? Nobody cares what you say.
So just because Donald Trump can't hold himself accountable doesn't mean other people can't. But I'm so happy to talk about this for the reason being that, right, it came out that I did use slurs when I was younger, and I've talked about this for the last 10 months, right, and today I'll even sit here and call those actions deplorable, say that I was engaging in racism, say that I was engaging in bigotry, right? And I'm beyond fucking happy that I was exposed to education that made me grow in a positive direction so I could turn around and share that same education with other people. And don't you think it's fucking crazy that a 20-year-old white boy on TikTok has more self-accountability and respect for those around them than Trump, your guy for presidency? But it's
Donald
good to
Trump
know.
has never
One
said the
second.
N-word and nobody's ever accused him, so we don't have to hold him accountable.
Oh, he
That was
actually
you.
has.
That was you.
He
that
actually
said
has.
The N-word. Oh, do you have evidence that Donald Trump has used the N-word?
Yeah, you said that he's never been accused of using the N-word. He was accused by 3
Do you have
producers.
evidence that Donald Trump has used the N-word?
1 second, if you'll let me finish. You said that Donald Trump has never been accused of using the N-word. He was accused by 3 producers on The Apprentice of using the N-word. Right? He also, right, he was. Look it up.
There would be video, there would be recording, just like the tape where he said, "I'll grab him by the, you know."
So
what."
I just want to clarify. You said Trump has never been accused of using the N-word. Is that something you said?
There's no physical evidence.
No. You said Trump has never been accused of using the N-word. Is that true?
So we're supposed to believe a liar, another liar?
No.
Didn't this guy also say he had a tape?
No. You said that Donald Trump has never been accused of using the N-word. Is that a sentence that was uttered out
That's
of your
not what I
mouth?
said, actually.
Yes or no?
That's not what I said.
So everyone laugh at him.
If you want to
because
go
he's
back
lying.
and listen to what I said
Everyone laugh at him because he's lying. Do you truly think that you could lie in front of 2.7 thousand people? Right?
I said no one is accusing
everyone
Donald
point it
Trump.
left. No, maybe
So he doesn't have to hold himself
May the
accountable.
4th be with you. Look at everyone in the chat laughing at you because you
Engaging
lied.
in
So
cult-like
here's
behavior,
here's
right?
the issue.
Is that what they're doing? Are they engaging in?
No, here's the issue is that you cannot try to gaslight me in front of a stage of nearly 3,000 people and not expect to be held accountable for it, right?
Well,
but
the
I will now
racist
go
is
back to what I was saying, right? Wait, you think I'm racist?
I do think you're racist.
Okay, do you think Trump is racist?
No, I don't.
So how can I be racist for using the N-word at 14, learning from my bigotry and changing as a person, but Trump not being racist with an unapologetic track record of racism, starting in the 70s with denying housing applications to black people because they're black, going into 1991 where he called all black people lazy, affirmed that's something that he said in 1997, right? Then in the early 2000s said that migrants were poisoning the blood of our country, said that Kamala Harris turned black implying that she wasn't black prior, said that Obama was born in Kenya because of the color of his skin, he shouldn't be able to run for president even though he's a birth certificate specifically from Hawaii, said that the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio are here illegally, even though he knows that they're here through legal processes because he renewed those legal processes under his term in 2017. Like, go ahead and describe that indiscrepancy to me.
Right, everything you said wasn't true or accurate.
Okay, what's one thing I said that wasn't
true? There were
true?
some things that you said were true.
What did I say?
But other things weren't true.
Like what?
He never said Obama shouldn't be president because of the color of his skin. That's something
the birther myth. He said that he was from Kenya, right, and instantiating the beliefs that thereby he shouldn't be able to run for president because he's not a U.S. born citizen.
He said both his family, his brothers from the same parents were born in Kenya, and Obama possibly could have been born in Kenya because that originated from Hillary Clinton.
It didn't originate from Hillary Clinton. It originated from followers of Hillary Clinton. But I don't care if like you're the first to engage in a racist behavior or the last. It's all just as deplorable.
Okay, well, Donald Trump isn't being accused of saying the N-word. So
I mean, so you just said it again. You just said that Donald Trump isn't being accused of saying the N-word.
Yeah, I said that the first time. He's not being accused. Is anybody going on TV saying he's saying the N-word? Even on MSNBC?
Actually, yeah, they are.
Well, I haven't seen any of that news.
I mean, like, obviously, like, you're just, like, making, like, a really bad point, right? Because saying the N-word is racist, just like denying housing applications to black people is racist, or saying that black people are lazy is racist. But you're now saying that he's never been accused of
when
saying
you bring up the housing applications, I mean, his father.
No, we're not going to pivot there. We're not going to pivot there yet. So Trump accusation of N-word, like, yeah, you could just look up Trump accusation N-word. You could read a Vox article that goes over how a producer on the Apprentice TV show accused him of saying it. There's a Forbes article that goes over the same thing. There's a Rolling Stones article that goes over the same thing. There's a Daily Beast article that goes over the same thing. So I just want to clarify, you think that Trump's racist because he's been accused of saying the N-word, right?
No, I don't think Trump is racist. I think Donald Trump has been a friend to all racists for a long time.
Wait, but you said he's not a racist.
Didn't he receive a word from the NAACP?
Well, wait, so you're saying he's not racist because he has black friends?
Didn't he receive a award for the NAACP for the work that he's done with African American communities?
What work has he done with African American communities? Cat, thank you for $5 on Venmo.
He sent an airplane to bring Nelson Mandela and his large party here when nobody else would send it to him. The government wouldn't help him out. Nobody else would help him out. He's helped people in his community all over New York City.
Like how?
For years. What?
Like how?
I mean, there's a lot of instances that he's paid off people's mortgages.
Like who?
There was a man that had a flat tire on the side of the road, an African-American man, and Donald Trump pulled over to help him with his flat tire.
Wait, I have a question. How do you know about Donald Trump helping someone with their flat tire on the side of their road?
Donald Trump's driver told the story.
Oh, wait. So you're saying that you could accept Donald Trump's driver's word of mouth, but you can't accept E. Jean Carroll's word of mouth plus what she proved in court? Why? Oh.
There was reversible error in the case. It was a staged case, just like his fraud case that's about to be overturned.
Wait, so can I just say the same thing about the words of his driver?
So you're saying you don't? It's fine.
No, it was staged. It was fake.
Sure, but it wasn't.
Thank you. Well, I mean, can I just say this?
It was a story that was told before he even ran for president.
Everyone is saying to look at your posts. So you accuse Parker of grape in a post? Why would you do that?
I said I got a DM to you one day. I put this post up. You actually muted me from coming back on to show the post.
You can't be muted.
You muted me from being able to come back on. Yeah,
that's not a function of TikTok. You probably.
I said you muted me from commenting, and I tried to request to come back on, and said you have been muted from this live.
So first of all, when you get,
but I'm glad you brought that up because.
So first of all, when you
there's
get
the DM I said I got.
So first of all, when you get muted in the chat, it doesn't restrict you from requesting up, and then second of all, you probably got muted by one of my mods. I'm literally telling you how TikTok works. It's not a function of TikTok.
Okay. Well, I couldn't request to come back up after that.
Oh,
and
but
I
yeah,
just requested.
but you were the guy. You were the guy that was talking about. All right, a grape accusation apart. So let's hear about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I said this person sent me a DM. I said, if we're going to believe people, why wouldn't we believe that?
So can we see the DM?
It's on my page, I guess. I didn't know it was still there because the original
Here,
post.
I just sent you an invite to turn on the camera and then just click the green screen effect and show us all.
It's on my page.
No, show us on live.
Why can't you just go to my page on live? I don't know how to operate the green screen.
Because you can't go to TikTok pages on a live stream, like when I'm like hosting the live.
I don't know how to operate a green screen.
Okay, you accept my invite to turn on your camera, and then you click on effects, and then you click on green screen. It's like 3-4 buttons. Okay, okay. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
this guy's a little helpless. So maybe
it's not. I just don't want to appear in front of a green screen.
You don't have to. You could just set your phone up and then like not have it pointing towards you. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, just not. It's on my page.
Well, I'm actually looking at your page. There's no content published.
Oh, well then somebody.
So you actually don't have it on your page.
Someone just said that I did, and you said that to me, right?
I'm actively.
And I said I didn't know it was still up because the person took the original post down after I posted a screenshot.
I'm like actively looking at your page right now. There is no videos on it.
Like I said, it was a reply to someone.
And it looks like there's a lot of people in the comment section that saw something on there prior.
I didn't delete it, actually. I'm trying to explain the story.
He'd fucking delete it. So, chat, what was?
Do you think if you let me explain the story, I could tell you what happened to it and why I didn't think it was up anymore? Somebody posted our live when I was talking
Whitney,
to your live.
For the $1 on Venmo.
Right. So someone posted your live and said, Dean destroyed this guy. He ran away. He's a liar, blah, blah, blah. So I posted the screenshot in a reply to a couple of the comments, or one of the comments, and then the person took the original post down. So that's why you can't see what I put up. But when I look at my page, it still says it's there.
Okay, well, you can't gaslight 6,000 people. So I just have a question. Let's just assume that you got a DM. Do you believe them?
I never even asked them for proof because I don't care. It's not my business. It's like...
You don't care if someone's a potential grape victim? See, that just makes me doubt the validity. No,
I don't care for
what that makes
an
me
accusation
think,
through TikTok.
No, the only reason that you wouldn't care is if you knew that it was fake. And what that makes me think, Haley, thank you so much for the $1 on PayPal, is that you either had a friend DM you it or you made another account and you DM'd it to yourself. Like in any other scenario, you would care, right?
In the screenshot, the person's account was there.
Yeah, right. So it's either the case that it was an alternative account of yours, right, or right, like the account from like a friend's account. And then like apparently you don't care.
I can give you the account right now.
Wait, so I'm actually looking at the screenshot here in Discord. Christian, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Okay.
They're like, he's a sexual assaulter, and they have proof. And you're like, he interrupts anyone when they debate, and he changes topics immediately.
Yeah, that's
so.
The
I just have a question. So, like, typically when someone is like coming to you about being a victim of grape, do you just like want to talk about how you don't like the debating tactics of like a 22-year-old online? Like I feel like that's I feel like these things should be like taken with like processed with more care, right?
Like you told, it's first of all, like I told you last time, when this person DM'd me, I thought this was a known accusation.
Wait, it literally says backup in the fucking name, dude. Get a load of this guy. We're just gonna go to move on to the next guest. Get a load of that guy. Holy shit. Parker could sue. He could. It's probably not worth his time though. Hi, are you voting for Trump?
What on God's green flat earth? My bad. I didn't mean to come up here.
Wait, but I want to talk to you because you're voting for Trump.
Well, my kid's kind of crying right now.
Okay, vote for Kamala Harris. Get that increased child tax credit so you could buy more food and more binkies for the kid. But take care of that baby. You'll just be able to better take care of it if Harris is elected. By the way, for the 6,000 people watching the stream, if you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in that chat. But we're going to move on to our next guest literally right now. What's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, she won't be elected. You haven't seen the polls lately?
The polls of what?
Of everything, man. She's behind by she's got 30%. Trump has 60% right now.
You're talking about like the projections of like the outcome of the electoral
poly
college
polls.
votes.
People are betting on it right now.
Oh
People
my
are betting
god.
money against it right now.
Oh my god. Well, I have a question. What kind of percentage should Trump have in 2016?
I'm just saying, right now you're about to lose, and you know it.
Answer my question. What kind of percentage
You're
should Trump
about
have
to
in the...
lose, man. It's obvious.
Yeah,
He was on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan the other day. It was awesome.
I'm asking you a very
He
straightforward
didn't go
question.
on Joe Rogan. She hasn't talked to anybody.
JD Jones, I know that
Got
you can
hammered
hear
on
me.
Fox News the other night by that guy.
5, 4. Thank you. So I'm
You
asking you
lost.
I'm asking
He's
you a
already
very...
lost.
Okay, I'm going to mute you if you interrupt me one more time.
Hey, when
I'm
she
asking
loses,
you a very... Okay.
it's gonna be.
I'm asking you a very direct question.
He's so funny to see your face when she loses.
I'm asking you a very direct question. We could talk about what my response will be if Trump wins
So
momentarily.
funny to see you.
Okay, fine. I'll just address it right now.
Talk
Yeah,
about when-
sure. Yeah, if Trump wins, I'll be like, oh, that sucks.
You're
And
gonna
then
talk
continue
about
to
when she loses.
I'll just address.
Okay, I'm telling you right now. Okay, go ahead, get it all out. Just get it all out. You need to do your thing.
Talk
Do
about
it.
when she loses. How are you gonna make money?
Oh, you have an echo? Go in and out of the app. Go out of the app like you're gonna check your text messages, and then come right back into the app. You have an echo. See how you could hear me like 3 times? Like I there we go. Okay, go ahead.
What are you gonna do when she loses? What are you gonna talk about?
Yeah, sure. So if Kamala Harris loses the election and Trump wins, my
She
first reaction
is.
will
It's
be
already statistically. It's
okay. Why are you not interested in having a two-way street conversation with me?
You're not interested in having a two-way street conversation with anybody.
That's not true. In fact, that's
You're
all
a
that I've been
bully.
doing all day.
You're a bully.
Okay, so your claim is just going to be that I'm a bully, so you
No,
want to
you
be the
are
vigilante
a
that
bully.
shits on me?
You are a
So,
bully.
I mean, I think that there's two like potential things that you're doing here.
Of a bully. Do you know what the definition?
Yeah, so I mean, what I feel like you're doing is you just don't
Definition
want to
of
let
a
me
bully.
talk because you know if you do let me talk, that I'll end up making you
What's
look
the
bad because that's
definition
what
of
I
a
do
bully?
for all Trump
What's
supporters.
the definition of a bully?
Yeah, someone that you want me to define the term bully?
Yes.
Yeah, you and Trump.
I mean, every other time you know how to read something off of Google, but this time you don't want to do it.
At least I know how to read. Period. Sorry.
I mean, you're
I'm
just
so
reinforcing that I'm
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
still gonna lose, man.
I'm so sorry.
You're still gonna lose, and then what are you gonna talk about?
The only reason I said that
What are
is
you gonna
because,
talk
like,
about?
you're being like willingly obnoxious. So JD,
But what are you going to talk about then?
Yeah,
also, I
like,
saw you
if
in front of
Kamala-
Ben.
like,
I saw
regardless
you and
of who-
Parker in front of
One
Ben
moment.
Shapiro.
Hey,
You lost
JD,
that
I'm
too.
talking. Regardless of who wins or loses the election,
Ben Shapiro
what I'll
spanked
answer-
both of you.
Okay, well, I'm still talking, JD. Do you mind if I could finish and then we could talk about Ben?
Go ahead, man. Keep talking.
Thank you. Right?
You're going to lose either way.
I hear you. You've already said that a handful of times.
Is it sinking in yet?
Well, no, it's not sinking in because the election hasn't happened yet.
All right. Well, you want to bet some money on it?
No, I don't want to take your money from you.
No.
but I'm
come
going to
on,
go ahead and
let's bet some
finish
money.
talking.
I bet you $1,000 Donald Trump wins.
Okay, so what are you going to do if Donald Trump loses?
I'll give you
Wait,
$1,000.
are you going to be one of like the insurrectionists that tried to coup our country, raid and cause an insurrection upon our capital? Or are you going to be like Trump when he sent fake slates of electors and literally tried to change the outcome of the election by rigging it with fake votes in Congress? See, my thing is I just think it's absolutely so funny and even puts a little smile on my face every single time Republicans say, oh, you're going to be so emotional and you're going to cry when Trump wins. Because, well, when Trump lost, he literally tried to overthrow our government, right, and pose the biggest threat to democracy, right, since the Civil War.
If you believe she's going to win, put your money where your mouth is.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I'm not like you, JD. Right? I don't hold to irrational claims just because I want them to occur. I'd say right now it's a flip of the coin, 50-50. I don't know if Harris is going to win. I don't know if Trump's going to win. It could honestly go either
Why
way.
wouldn't you make your easy $1,000?
Well, it's not like it's a 50-50. I don't have certainty that Kamala Harris is going to win.
So she was ahead, and now she's not anymore.
Yeah, she had like a pretty like sizable lead on Trump, and I'd say that she's lost a lot of that momentum.
And you helped Trump because you're such a terrible person. You scared people away from voting for Kamala.
Wait. Tell me what attributes of my character make me a terrible person.
Everything. You're a bully. You're a terrible bully. You bully people for a living.
Give me an example.
Every time you're on here, you're mean and cruel to people. You're a terrible human being.
Give me a specific example.
Every single time you're on here, you go out of your way in order to.
Can you please repeat the question?
Terribly.
Can you repeat the question I asked you?
What?
Cameron, thank you for the $5 on PayPal, for the $5 on Harris. And Haley, thank you for the $1. I appreciate you.
You also lie about how much money you get in order to interrupt people.
Sarah, thank you for the $5 on
Whenever you're losing, you say that and you make it up.
And I know I actually just got a donation from Sarah.
Whenever you're losing an argument, you scream an answer saying that thank you for the donation.
Do I need to fucking show you the donation?
No, you need to bet me $1,000.
No, I'm just gonna fucking prove
bet
your
me
ass wrong.
$1,000 if you believe what you believe, you loser.
I've already told you that it's a flip.
You're gonna lose.
I don't make bets unless I know.
You're gonna lose, and if you bet me, you're gonna lose $1,000.
There's Cameron on the $5.
Then you can afford it. Afford this $1,000. It'll be the best bet ever.
Wait, can we not pivot around the fact that you said my donations were fake and I just proved you wrong? Yo, Purdy with the $50 on Venmo. Shut up. Purdy, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo for the real donation. Holy shit, everyone right now. W Purdy's in the chat. I really appreciate you for the love, Purdy. Let's get some massive W Purdy's in the chat. Christine, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the real donation. Matthew with the $5 on Venmo to bully him and the other Trumpies. I really appreciate you guys so much for the love. Holy shit, you're going off.
Any one of you want to bet $1,000?
Wait 1 second. I'm still reading off my donors. Give me a second, man. Elena, thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. Massive W. Elena's down below in the chat for the real donation on Alejandro. Thank you for the $5 on PayPal, saying that you rock, bro, as well.
This is what Dean does when he loses.
I read off fake Venmos.
This is what he does.
Thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna go to repeat what I said last time. So I don't think that we have like certainty that one candidate is gonna win over another, right? And probabilistically based speaking, I don't think that we could attribute like more weight to one candidate rather than another, right? So like the reason that I wouldn't place money in the outcome of the election is because we don't have certainty about it, all right? And like the fact that you have such certainty is like indicative of like just being like low IQ. Because in all reality, like you don't have sufficient resources to come to the conclusion that Trump is gonna win with certainty. You're just saying that because you want him to win and like you have the IQ of a rock. But here's something that I will say. I will bet you $1,000 if it is the case that you could define communism. Or tell me how many continents there are. Lindsay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Brittany, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the fake donation to kick this guest, please. Thank you.
It's a deal? 1,000?
Yeah, sure. If you could tell me how many continents there are. And what their names are.
You're a chicken.
Wait, why?
Bet the 1,000. Come on, let's go, chicken boy.
Why should I bet the $1,000
Let's go,
on
chicken
something
boy.
that I don't know the outcome?
Come on. You got enough money you can afford it. You got
I could afford a $1,000 wager.
You got the whole
Haley,
Rainbow Mafia fund in your lifestyle. Let's go.
Wait, I have a question. What's the Rainbow Mafia? Courtney, thank you for the $1 on PayPal. What do you mean by the Rainbow Mafia?
The closet that you're in. You and Parker are both gay for each other.
Wait, I actually have a real question, JD. Samantha, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. So are you the one that wrote like?
Bet.
Hey, 1 second, let me talk. Are you the
supporters to help you with the bet?
Hey, 5? Hey, sir, I'm talking. Guys, everyone, listen. He doesn't want me to let me talk because he knows I'll cook. All right, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Like JD, you're being very annoying right now. I'd like to respond to what you're saying.
Take the bet.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and like spam the mute button and talk. I gotta treat him like a child. Like it's actually like harder, right, to try to talk to JD than it is my 5-year-old nephew. So you said that like me and Parker are both gay in the closet for one another. Hey, you have the echo again. Go on pause. You have the echo again.
You said that like everybody in the
Isaiah, thank you for the $5.
Chicken.
Buddy, you have the echo again. There you go. Anyways, what I was saying. So you said that I'm gay and I'm in the closet and me and Parker are. Hey, JD, I'm talking.
He's a chicken.
Hey Mason, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Chicken emoji in the chat.
Hey JD, you could talk after me. Should I just let him go for as long as he wants? Actually, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you.
Put a chicken emoji in the chat if you think he's a chicken. Or
Just
a rainbow.
let me know when I could speak, man.
Or a rainbow if you think he's not straight. Come on, you're faking to be straight. You're not straight.
I mean, I'm waiting. Can I speak now?
Are you straight?
I am straight, but can I speak?
$1,000?
As soon as I could speak,
Why would
just
you lie
let me
about
know.
your sexuality to people?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and speak. Don't speak over me. JD, why are you speaking over me?
You can't bet it. Rainbow in the chat or a chicken.
It's funny how I've
Everybody,
seen no one
rainbows
doing
or
it.
chickens in the chat.
JD, I need to be able to speak. Is that fair? Miranda, thank you so much for the $5 on
Rainbow,
Venmo.
if you
Kick
think-
this obnoxious
if you think
person.
Parker and
He's still
Dean are
doing
a
it.
couple,
Joy, thank you so
Chicken
much
if
for the
think he's
$2
too
on Venmo.
chicken to make the bet.
Jamie, thank you for the $5 on Venmo to kick him at 8 words. I mean, I'm still trying to get one message through to him. We're still waiting. The funniest part is that no one is fucking doing it in the chat. Haley, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I just have a question for you, JD. So, like, how come it's always like the white cis het Republican males that like to talk about my sexual orientation? Like, let's just face the facts. JD Jones wants to fuck me. Like, no one else is pretending and convincing themselves that I'm attracted to men, and the only people that do that are like the white Republican quote unquote straight men that want to fuck me. So then they write the Wattpad stories at 3 a.m. every Saturday, pretending as if I'm into that shit just like they are. Maya, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. But you've made up my mind. You convinced me. I will bet you $1,000 on the election if you could answer one question.
It's $1,000. It's the bet. Just
You've convinced me. I'll do it if you could answer my one question. Would you like to know what my one question is?
Anything you say.
David, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get some W's in the chat for David.
I gotta go. It's $1,000.
No, I'm telling you, my condition is one question, take it or leave it. If you could tell me what the 7 continents are.
Conditions by you.
No, the one condition is you have to name the 7 continents.
No, I'm not doing anything.
He can't name the continents. Oh my God, JD doesn't know the continents. Wait, how could you say that you know Trump is gonna win the election, but you don't know what the continents are? Get a load of this fucking joker. That is the average fucking conservative for you, right? They know Trump is gonna win the election, but they don't know the damn continents. He was pretty bad. He was pretty bad. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, y'all. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump?
No, I just wanted to just hop on here.
I do appreciate you for coming up. We are just looking to debate Trump supporters, but you are phenomenal. We're gonna get our next guest, Frankenstein, up in here right now, y'all. If you are in the queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump. JD was cringe, dead ass on God. And then Nisa, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Nan, thank you for the love, Nan. That is NGAN. Thank you for the love. All right, guys, throw a MAGA down below in that chat if you do want to come up and debate. We're gonna get our next guest up in here literally right now, y'all. Everybody, just do give us 1 minute, guys. Spam MAGA down below. All right, hop in that queue. You guys already know. Just be patient, guys. Do be patient. We got Sean loading up in literally right now. We need intelligence voter test for the voters ASAP. So real. What's up, Sean? Are you voting for Trump?
What's up? Yes, I am voting for Trump.
Phenomenal. Justin, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
All right. So why are you guys voting for Trump?
Sure. So I'm voting for Trump literally just because I want more money in my pocket.
What's your
under
annual
Trump,
income?
Go ahead, Justin. What'd you say?
No, it's me.
I didn't say
Oh, my bad.
Anna, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. W's for Anna in the chat. What's your annual income?
Me? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Emma, thank you for the $6 and the 66 cents on Venmo. Thank you, Emma. W's for Emma. What's your annual income?
60,000.
Oh my God. Yeah, you will have significantly more money in your pocket if Kamala Harris is elected.
Well,
it's like an undisputable fact. So her tax policy is designed for you. It is made for you and 100 million other American workers in the low and the middle class. Donald Trump's policy actually benefited people making under $50,000, the least out of any other wealth group by annual income in America, right? And he wants to implement tariffs that will harm you the most. I'm so sorry if you're making $60K a year and you think that Trump will support you more than Harris. You are just like literally a product of indoctrination, and that is so sad.
No, it's because I'm living it, dude. And first of all, it's a starting job. I just got out of college making 60,000, so still plenty of years ahead. But I want to be very
Barbara,
clear
thank you
here.
for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Barbara. W's for Barbara down below.
It's more than just the tax code and the tax policy. I actually was a former Biden voter in 2020. I voted for Joe Biden in 2020, going from Biden to Trump. I have friends in Israel, and I know I have family members in Eastern Europe who I'm scared for. And I think the weak leadership that's been on display these past 4 years has led to absolutely catastrophic consequences around the world. And I want a strong leader in there again.
Such as what specifically?
Are you talking about what strong policies I want specifically?
No, what? Could you please show me, right, or give me an example of like weak leadership on behalf of the Biden-Harris administration, right?
Yeah,
that you could
sure.
Prove has caused catastrophic. One moment, Sean, I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
Right. So, give me an example of weak leadership in our current administration that you can prove has caused catastrophic consequences around the globe.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, the fact that Joe Biden can't string a sentence together. Vladimir Putin and Hamas terrorists were aware that, hey, the United States, the global superpower, the leader of the West, the leader of NATO, has a president who has dementia. They saw that and seized the opportunity. I do not believe that Vladimir Putin.
Okay, so the outcome of that. The outcome of that should be, right, the idea that Putin would want Biden back in office because of his bad leadership, because it allows him to do more bad things, right? However, it is the case that we have proven Russian interference in the 2016, 2020, and now in the 2024 election of Russia interfering and pushing pro-Trump propaganda, right? And we know that the reason Putin wants Trump in office is because he thinks that Trump is weak and easy to manipulate. We have leaked Kremlin documents that prove that. And then we even have external evidence for this claim, such as when Trump believed Putin's word of mouth over U.S. intelligence from the DoD and CIA in Helsinki, right? So like you're like one-liner of like, oh, you can't string a sentence together, therefore I could just randomly say that that's demonstrated of weak leadership that Putin's been able to take advantage of, right? That fails in comparison to the legitimate claims that we know are true, proven by the DOJ and through leaked Kremlin documents.
It's not a weak one-liner. It's a legitimate
Erica,
claim.
thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's for Erica down below. Thank you for the $15. What are the necessary and sufficient conditions of dementia?
Dude, you don't need to know that. Here, I've had a grandparent who's had dementia in the past, so I'll gladly tell you. Constantly forgets what they're saying or what they asked a question before, repeating themselves. They don't know where they are. They don't know who they're talking to. These signs have been clearly evident. You don't need to have a degree in any related medical field to know that he clearly has gone through cognitive decline, and it's sad.
You don't need a
It's
degree in
horrible what
related
he's been
medical
put
fields
through.
to make diagnoses. Or then also, you understand that every single thing you just
Go
said to
ahead.
you would apply to Trump. Like, let's talk about when Trump forgot that he was in Arizona, saying that he was in Texas, right? About not knowing who you're talking to. Ashley, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. You are absolutely phenomenal. Let's get some W's for Ashley in the chat. Massive W Ashley's down below. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Like, we could talk about when he confused a picture of E. Jean Carroll for his ex-wife.
Okay,
right?
I will absolutely.
One moment, please. Would you please allow me to finish?
Go ahead.
Right.
Yes.
So my question to you is, right? We see these qualities in Biden and Trump. Do we see these qualities in Harris?
Well, no, we don't see dementia in Harris. We just see idiocy with Harris.
Oh,
She's not
and
very smart.
wait. Of this quality of like dementia, right, is what would qualify weak leadership, and you'd say that this trait is present in Trump, but not present in Harris, right? Would this
No,
lead us to
I
the
did.
conclusion
Did I
that
say it was
Kamala
present in
Harris
Trump? When did I say that?
You did. Yeah, you.
No, I
agreed
did
with me
not.
when
I
we
said
went over
that
the
there.
specific
I was going to
examples
say, but
of
you didn't let
every
me finish.
single
that there needs to
qualifier
be
of
an age
dementia that
limit.
you just fucking said, right? and
No,
how
I
it
did
would
not
apply
say
to
it.
Trump.
I absolutely did not. You didn't let me finish.
You
I
gave
said
me
that
the qualifiers for dementia when I asked you, and then I gave you very
Trump
one
doesn't have
moment.
dementia. Slipping a word here and there does not equal dementia. If you look at Donald Trump and Joe Biden side by side, it is obvious which one is more in cognitive decline than the other. Trump is old. He might forget like a thing like very temporarily, but it's not dementia. It's not even close to what Biden has had.
Okay, so then
Harris,
give me the differences between the behaviors of Biden and Trump that would qualify Trump as not having dementia, but qualifying Biden as having dementia.
Oh, I would absolutely, no problem, sir. I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is, Dean, whatever. I just jumped on because you're asking if I was a Trump supporter.
Wait, but wait, no, 1 second. You just said that Trump has mental decline. Okay, so Trump has mental decline more than Harris, right? If your qualifier, right, for weak leadership is this type of mental decline, would you say within this respect that Harris is a stronger leader than Trump? What's going on with like the fucking crazies today? Like, I just want to be able to talk to normal people, but like these people, like they're fucking not normal. J Zero, I appreciate you for the galaxy. Like the first thing that this guy comes up and says is that he wants more money. Like I say in 3 sentences how he will have more money under Harris, but then he just starts rattling off about fucking Joe Biden and all this crazy nonsense. Like just be like a normal, rational human. Use your damn brain. Like I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of the cult members. I'm so sick of like these diehard Republicans that treat politics like the NFL. I'm so sick of the partisan hacks. I can't believe that you probably work a 9 to 5 and act like you're a normal functioning member of society, right? But then in your personal life, you pull this shit. But Sean, you have to unmute your mic. So click on your profile picture, then click the icon of the mic. I doubt you could even figure out how to unmute it, right? Because like you have to have a low level of intelligence to be making these claims, right?
You are a fucking bully.
There you go. Erica, I appreciate you for the $15.
Hello?
After you just got done fucking spouting off for 10 minutes about how Joe Biden has fucking dementia and we all know
Because
it,
I was
and that
listing
Kamala
another reason
Harris
as
is an
to why
idiot.
I was
Like
not
God, do you just think like you could only
And
be
you
a
just threw out
bully
the ad
when it
hominem
would
calling me
apply?
crazy. I
Wait,
never
what's
called-
an ad hominem?
It's an attack on it's a personal attack on someone rather than sticking to the debate, the topic of the debate.
No. An ad hominem is when you attack someone's character to discredit their argument. Right,
Right, and that's what you did. You called me crazy.
No, I discredited your argument with facts, right? And then
you called me crazy. You called me a name.
Okay, Sean, do you mind if you let me speak, little bro?
No, because you didn't let me speak.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let you speak.
Thank you. Finally. So you were asking me about dementia, and you were saying, does Kamala Harris's intelligence or whatever make her a better candidate than Trump? And the answer is no. She couldn't even, she said, oh, we have to support our North Korean allies. She is on tape saying that. She confused North Korea with South Korea. So you said Trump confused one state with the other. Well, she confused North Korea and South Korea. She's not respected on the global stage. She's not feared on the global stage. She's going to be, she's not going to win. Thank God.
So where are the
She's
leaked
gonna
Kremlin
lose.
documents where Putin says that she's easy to manipulate?
The documents, you don't need documents, man. Just look at what's going on around the world and the chaos that's happening under this administration. That's all you need to see.
Would you say that FDR caused World War II?
No, he
then
declared.
Then how could you say that Biden and Harris caused Russia's invasion of Ukraine or Israel's attack on Palestine?
Because these are completely different circumstances. Japan attacked the United States as a preempt. They thought that they were going to be able to completely demoralize.
Well, I mean, using your logic,
not have
couldn't we
anything
say
to
that
do with the
Japan
other.
attacked the U.S. because FDR was weak?
No.
Okay, so then how can we say that Russia attacked Ukraine because Biden and Harris?
Because they
are
thought
weak?
they could get away with it.
Thank you for the
And they
$3
did.
Venmo. Wait, no. We actually know that our current administration, right, holds a more proactive and resistant response against Russia, right, than Trump, right? Because it is our administration, it is the Democrats that supports sending more funding and more weapons to Ukraine to stand against Russian expansion, right?
And how has that
continuing to
worked out?
rally NATO together, right, to specifically stand against Russia. And then it is Trump, on the other hand, who literally wants Russia to win the war, saying that he wants Ukraine to give up land and doesn't support any further funding of Ukraine.
Because if you really think that Donetsk and Oblast regions are coming back, I hate to tell you, no amount of funding or money, it's never going to come back unless American troops get involved. We have to negotiate a peace deal. The war is going to end in a stalemate. The top generals and military experts have said this.
You trust top generals and military experts?
No, you do. So I'm listed. That's why I mentioned it.
No. I just want to ask
think
you: Do
experts
you
can certainly be wrong on an
Do
issue.
you trust top generals and military experts? Yes or no?
Yeah, I tend to trust in every field. I tend to trust experts.
So when some of the top generals under Trump's administration said that he was unfit to serve and he had qualities that were redeeming that of fascism, right? Do you trust that?
No, I trust the other generals who said that they're full of shit.
Oh, got it. So
There are no sources to back it.
It's trust them, right, when they align with your worldview, but they're delusional and wrong when they don't. I'd actually like to ask you a question, right? Because seemingly you care about strength. Do you think that it was strong when Trump lost the 2020 federal election for presidency, and he was such a big baby that he tried to cope wine and literally overthrow the results of the election? Right? We know that he sent fake slates of voters to 7 different states to cast fake votes into the Electoral College, right? Saying that he won when in all reality he lost, right? Then he wanted those to get sent into Congress and then certified as real by Mike Pence. How strong was that, Sean? Is that strength? Or is that a big baby whining and crying? 81 million Americans fired Trump because of his weakness. And I would just love to know how you respond to this argument. You are muted. You have to click on your profile picture and then click the icon of the mic again.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So, yes, I can debate all day about Trump's character. I agree he's an asshole. Okay.
Well, no, I was instantiating that was very weak.
And yes, it was. He has a fragile ego. I agree with that. No debate there, man. I'm literally voting based on policy. I just want the world to be a better place.
You're voting on the basis of policy. What's one policy that Trump implemented through Congress during his first term that you liked?
Well, I already mentioned one, and that was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Wait, why did you like the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
Oh, because I got a raise, for one. That was nice.
Oh, okay. All right. So if you're just going to say that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, right, increased business investment so companies could pay their workers more. So we'd actually have a Brookings study done. And on the macro scale, we saw no increase in business investment, right? And in companies that offered their employees a raise due to the TCJA, right, existed in a minority. And it wasn't sure on the macro scale, right? And then once again, right, do you think that our current tax code, right, is good or bad?
The current tax code?
Uh-huh.
There are flaws to it. I'm not a huge. I think there's things that are unfair about it, things that make sense, but overall, no, I'm not a fan of the current tax code, and I'm not a fan of the income tax really in general. I don't like the federal income tax. I don't think there should be an income tax. I don't think it's fair to tax workers when people sit on their ass.
Our current tax code is Trump's tax code.
Well, then what's happened the past 4 years? Why haven't they done anything about it? That's another thing too.
Because Congress
Your
gets
side likes to
together
blame
every
Trump
10
for a lot of
years to
things that
replace
Joe
tax
Biden
code.
has had 4 years in office to fix, but apparently hasn't. And he had 2 years with the
they did a
Democratic
lot,
Congress.
just nothing about the tax code because Congress gets together every 10 years to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, Congress is also a disgrace. They've done nothing.
Okay,
We
well, I
can
mean,
argue all day about what
without
Congress has
pivoting and
done.
deflecting, will we respond to the
Okay,
fact that you
sure.
said the only thing that you were a fan of under Trump with his tax code?
I
But
didn't
then
say
you
that was
said
the
on
only
live in
thing.
front of
I did not. I
5.6
said for one.
Okay,
that was
so
the tax
you said that you really liked his
mentioned
tax
one
code,
thing.
but then you said that you didn't like our current tax code. But our current tax code is
No,
Trump's
I
tax
said there
code.
were things that were unfair about it. Some things that make sense.
No,
some
you
things
said
that were
you
unfair.
said
and I said
overall
the
you're
income
not a
tax was
fan.
unfair. You're completely misconstruing what I said.
No, I'm
That's the
literally
problem.
I'm literally quoting you for verbatim. You said overall you're not a fan.
No, overall I am not a fan. I didn't say.
Okay,
I
so then
didn't
overall
like
you
it.
thought that the TCJA
I said that there
was
were
not
things
a good thing.
No, and mainly because of the federal income tax.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you don't like the TCJA, well, then what is one piece of legislation that Trump influenced to get passed under his first 4 years that you liked, that you were a fan of?
The USMCA, which was bipartisan.
Oh,
Repealing
okay. So the
NAFTA,
USMCA.
that's another thing.
So repealing
Go
NAFTA and
ahead.
replacing it with the USMCA literally only served to further cooperations between America, Canada, and Mexico. Right? By
Is that a bad
reducing
thing?
tariffs. No, it's a good thing, right? Because reduction of tariffs between countries is great for trade. So you're a fan of reducing tariffs, right? Oscar,
I
thank you for
think
the
tariffs
$5
need to
on
be
Venmo, thank you.
implemented where it makes sense, and then you can reduce tariffs between countries. It's more complex. It's not a black and white when it comes to tariffs.
Well, if it's not a black and white when it comes to tariffs, you'd obviously disagree and discredit Trump's very black and white plan of implementing a 10 to 20% flat tariff on all imports into our country, right?
And that I disagree with. And I actually work for Amazon, so that would negatively affect.
Oh, so that's
But
like,
there are things,
that's a
unlike you,
significant
apparently, I
portion
can disagree on
of
some
Donald
policies
Trump's
and agree on
policy.
others. And
Well,
besides, my company.
One second.
Go ahead. Go
That's a
ahead.
significant portion of Donald Trump's policy, right? Is his tariffs that are inflationary, will destroy American-owned companies and will make it more expensive for you to live, right? So why do you want to vote for the person that is going to cause inflation through tariffs compared to Kamala Harris?
No, it's not going to cause inflation.
Tariffs do cause inflation. That's the point of them. They're supposed to cause inflation because that's.
And by
how
the
they
way, like
incentive
you mentioned,
American
he needs
production.
Congress. He needs Congress. We know how
so
ineffective
you're just saying that he
Congress
has
is.
bad plans, but they're not going to get put into law because Congress?
No, and besides, I actually don't think it's necessarily a bad plan. Some of it, flat tariffs across the board. That's the aspect of it I disagree. But if you said 15 to 20, I'm sorry, what was the metric you gave? Just repeat that for me real quick.
10 to 20% flat
10
tariffs
to 20%
imported, and then like special tariffs, like 100% on China, 200% on John Deere.
Okay. Yeah. On China, yes, you have to do. I mean, you mentioned Russia and having a check on Russia. Well, China is an ally of Russia, so I think putting pressure on them is a good thing.
You disagree with like his plan for flat tariffs that will cause inflation and destroy American companies. So
it's not going to cause inflation. If anything, it'll help our supply chain. Why not make the products here? That's
Sean,
what Samsung did. He instituted tariffs on products in his first term, and Samsung opened plants in the United States. It gave us more jobs.
Hey, Sean,
it was a good thing.
So the reason I disagree with tariffs isn't because I disagree with the sentiment of more American manufacturing. It's because there's other ways to inspire American manufacturing that don't create the same like inefficiencies as tariffs do, right? Such as raw investment. But B, right, like you're saying that tariffs don't cause inflation, right? If tariffs don't cause inflation, how do they incentivize American production of goods?
They do incentivize American production, and they did not cause inflation under his first term. That's for darn sure.
How do tariffs, right, incentivize American production of goods?
Because if there's tariffs on goods coming from overseas, then the supply chain becomes less expensive as you produce them here. That's just basic supply chain management, and that's exactly what Samsung did. They opened a plant in South Carolina after a tariff was instituted during his first term.
Right, so you're saying that tariffs
bring more jobs.
So I just want to clarify.
States. We should want that.
I just want to clarify. You are saying now, right, that tariffs incentivize a higher level of production in America by making goods from other countries more expensive. And what do we call that?
I did not say more expensive. I did not say that.
So then in a sentence or less, very slowly and confidently explain to me, like I'm a 5-year-old, how tariffs incentivize a greater level of domestic production of goods.
Because when you institute a tariff on one good, let's say you have washing machines that are built in South Korea, and then Donald Trump says, well, no, I want them built in the United States. Then you instituted tariffs on those goods.
Which is a what? A tariff is a what?
A tariff is essentially a tax.
A tax on the import, okay.
Okay. And then the company says, well, no, I don't want to pay this tax, so I'm going to move my supply chain to the United States, have them built there. Then I won't have that 10% tax. We can get it built in the States. And hey, we're spending less on transportation because we're shipping them to Americans anyway.
Oh, wait, you think that tariffs make companies move to America?
They did. They did under his administration.
No, we actually had more jobs overseas on Trump's administration compared to Biden and Harris's administration.
Oh,
and we had greater levels of investment into manufacturing under Biden and Harris administrations compared to Trump's, right? And the reason
greatest level of investments. And how's it working out? What's the end result? No one can afford to live.
It's working out well. If you would let me finish.
No, it's not at all. It is not work. If you think everything's going better under these 4 years than the final 4 years, I think it's delusion.
Well, now you're making an abstraction between two separate issues, right?
No, it's not an abstraction.
Do you mind if I speak?
Two separate issues.
It is. Do you mind if I speak?
Yeah, I mean, you don't let me speak, but go ahead.
I feel like I have been letting you speak, right? You're just
you cut me off constantly, but go ahead, go on.
It's really funny how you said that as you're cutting me off. So the abstraction that you're making between
I'm doing it because you did it. Go ahead.
Okay, so Sean, if you do it again, I'm going to have to start muting you like my 5-year-old. Do you really want to be treated like a child by a 20-year-old on live in front of 7,000 people? Or do you want to have some respect for yourself, act your damn age, and try to engage in a real conversation with me? Which one? You choose.
I will choose. Let's have a conversation.
Good to hear, Sean. Anyways, I'm going to go back to what I was saying, right? So I was explaining to, right, the real figures, right, how we had more jobs overseas under Trump's administration compared to Biden and Harris's administration, right, which is provable given facts and stats. Just ask me for the source and I'd happily give it to you, right? With the fact that we've had higher levels of inflation under the Biden-Harris administration, right, compared to Trump's administration. So this is just an equivocation of issues, right? Your point would be good and it would stand if it was the case, right, that the same issue, right, causing there to be more jobs overseas is what caused inflation under Biden and Harris. But no, that's not true, right? COVID caused higher levels of inflation under Biden and Harris, right? And that was true not only for America, but for every other country around the globe. So when you just equivocate and very arbitrarily associate two issues with one another, acting as if one caused the other, right, you just sound uneducated. And I understand that like 9 out of 10 Democrats that you will probably debate on this issue won't point that fact out to you, but guess what? I fucking will. But anyways, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. You said that tariffs incentivize a greater level of domestic production by causing countries to move from South Korea, right, to America, right, so they don't have to pay that tariff. So
And
that's
not just
not what
South
they
Korea,
do
but
at
yes,
all.
go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and finish. That is not true, right? If you could demonstrate one source to me that would say companies move to America to negate having to pay tariffs, go for it. But that's not what they do at all, right? Because the expense of producing goods in America, right, compared to the production of goods in, say, China or South Korea, right, alongside the costs of moving your company's headquarters, right, is going to be more expensive and outweigh, right, the burden that the producer would take by just paying that tariff and then raising their price so it's passed off to the consumer. Okay. Right. And it's like, you should seemingly know this because isn't it you and every other Republican that says Kamala Harris's proposed tax policy of raising taxes on rich people is bad because that's just going to trickle down to the average American because they're not going to pay it? Well, seemingly you should understand the logic that when we see tariffs imposed on producers from other countries, well, that's just going to trickle right back down to the consumer in America because guess what? They're not going to pay it.
Okay, can I speak now?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything you said, and first of all, I'd be happy to give you a source. I'd be more than happy to. I spent 4 years doing this and researching this. Inflation and the current tariffs, first of all, you mentioned inflation because of COVID. Yes, we did have the pandemic, but also our inflation rate is actually higher than many other G7 countries. In fact, namely groceries.
It's actually lower. So we had a quicker rebound from the inflation onset by the pandemic.
Yes,
and
but
then also I do have a comparison here for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is from Reuters. Just look up Reuters, how offshoring rolled along under Trump and who vowed to stop it to show that there's more jobs offshored under Trump than Biden and Harris.
Is that so? Because that's funny. I sure as hell don't know where that's coming from. What's your source?
Reuters, Bloomberg, Public Citizen, Economic Policy Institute.
Yeah, great sources you got there.
They are.
So,
They are.
Look, I have to log off in a minute because I have jobs to go to, but I want to. So I'd be more than happy if you join a live again. I'll try and request it. And
wait, could you tell me why you just laughed at those sources?
Yeah, well, those were the sources you mentioned. I laughed at them, but I will give you sources of my own, and you will have the
Why did you
opportunity to laugh at them if you do another live and accept my request. But
I mean, answer my question. Why did you laugh?
Well, because, I mean, you mentioned Bloomberg for one. I mean, it's clear that Mike Bloomberg hates Donald Trump.
Well, I mean,
so,
Bloomberg
of course,
is
he's
reporting on the same consistent fact that the Public Citizen and the EPI, Economic Policy Institute, and Reuters would be. And like,
again,
so, like the founder of Bloomberg is a Democrat. So does that mean that everything that Bloomberg reports on is false?
No,
it just sounds
not
like
everything.
It just sounds like you're a victim of like the same like cult-like behaviors that Trump has been like conning people into since 2015.
I had a victim. I literally told you I voted for Biden.
You're a fucking victim of a con man, bro.
A victim. That's sad. Well, I will be back and I will have a source for you for the tariffs, but I have to get going.
The all elusive source that they'll get after they run away. Okay.
No, I will have scholarly sources for you and they will be backed by professionals.
Oh, well, the professionals better not be Republican or I could just throw my hands up in the air, throw a hissy fit and say they hate Biden and Harris, therefore they're invalid.
Like I said, you could react how I reacted the way I did. You can react however you want to. But this, I will tell you, the last 4 years were so much. Everybody I know was better off under Donald Trump. Everyone's suffering, I know, under this administration. That's all I need to know. And
No,
it's
that's not all you need. That's not all you need to know.
last 4 years.
Because just because
it
something,
is.
I could explain to you how it's not. Because just something happens.
Well, dude,
in
I
the
gotta
country-
go.
Oh well, yeah, you could run away, but I'm still going to explain it. Just
Well,
because
go ahead
something
and explain it. Then I got to leave.
just because something happens in the country doesn't mean that it's caused by the president. So when you kind of reduce your worldview down to the fact that people were better off 5 or 6 years ago than they are now, thereby you should vote for Trump compared to Biden and Harris. Well, I mean, you're just negating like the external variables that can impede and cause things in a functioning economy. Right? And this logic not only is false, but it could lead us to absurd outcomes about Trump. For instance, like you'd have to blame Trump for like the net negative loss in jobs under his term. You'd have to blame Trump for COVID as a whole, and you'd have to blame Trump for the 14.8% rate of unemployment at the end of his term in April of 2020. Because if you don't blame Trump for those things and you instead say that external variables can function in an economy and cause those outcomes to be the case, well, that's like the same response that I would give to a multiplicity of things that you'd claim, right, has made the average U.S. citizen worse off today. But you said that all you need to know is that people were better under Trump than Biden and Harris, thereby Biden and Harris caused them
We
to
had
be
a
worse
pandemic,
off, thereby
like you
should vote
said.
for Trump.
We had lockdowns, which he opposed. That is why we lost jobs, for the record.
So now you're appealing to external variables. That's what I want you to do. You're walking into the point, but you have to apply like that same line of logic, right, to your claim that all you need to know is that people are worse off today, right? Because external variables can also impede upon like the average livelihood of a U.S. today.
Right, because external variables can also impede upon like
Go on and off the app. Just pause real quick. You got an echo.
external variables can also impede upon.
He's not going to figure out how to do it. Just go and pause like you're responding to a text message.
Yeah, you're echoing. It's all echoing right now, but I gotta hop off. I'll join again.
All right, whatever.
You're echoing.
For the 7.7 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. If you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. We got banned on my main account. I don't know why. Like really shucky, but that's okay. Let's go and move on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone just do give us a minute. Dean with a W. I was being real patient with him. Like honestly, it is hard time to time to be patient with a lot of these people. But I feel like that patience is important, right? Because these are the arguments that I want to be debunking and disputing, not just for the people that I'm debating in the moment, but then also for the people that are listening. You know what I mean, guys? So I feel like it's really important for me to do that. But we're going to move on to our next guest, guys. If you're MAGA, if you're voting for Trump, let me know in the chat, and we're going to go and get you. And we're going to go and get you up here. What's up, Tommy? Are you voting for Trump?
100%.
Alrighty. Why are you voting for the dictator and day one want to be fascists?
Well, for one, we'll start with the fact that he's not a dictator. And if he was a dictator, then he would still be in office right now because he wouldn't have conceded, right?
Dude, wait. Tommy, Trump's whole thing is not conceding the 2020 election.
So you're saying that he never stepped down?
No, he hasn't conceded the outcomes, and then he was forced to step down after his ploy to steal the election from Biden failed.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many votes did he lose by?
What was it, like 81 to 76, 74? So like, I think 6 million. Someone could fact check me on that.
So I'm not talking about popular vote. I'm talking about the one that matters, the electorals.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it was around 20,000, and then if we look at all of the election interference, such as the Hunter Biden laptop and all the things that were done to poison his image, that very small margin seems to disappear. In fact, they say that had the FBI been honest about that whole situation and not just completely ran a mud all over Trump's name, then he would be in office right now.
Yeah, and yeah, I will condemn and concede that censoring of the Hunter Biden's laptop story was bad and anti-democratic. If you could condemn and concede Donald Trump for paying off Stormy Daniels through the falsification of business records to stay quiet about sleeping with him, right? Because that was also the suppression of information that could have been pertinent and relevant for voters.
So how does Trump's relationship with Stormy Daniels impact the election at all? And
yeah, because he cheated on one of his wives.
All of that was public knowledge. Okay, so he cheated on his wife. Kamala Harris's husband cheated on her ex-husband or on his ex-wife and had a baby with the nanny.
Okay. What my relation is between you saying that it was bad to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story and me saying that it was bad for Trump to try to censor Stormy Daniels from telling the world that she had slept and cheated with Trump.
So, I mean, again, she signed an NDA, non-disclosure. She broke that non-disclosure 100%. That shouldn't even have been brought in front of the trial.
that was the suppression of information that could have been pertinent to voters, right? And see, like you're like unwilling to condemn, right? Suppression of information.
We're talking about political persecution. And go ahead.
You're talking about like the suppression of information that could have been pertinent to voters and could have potentially swayed the outcome of the election, right? When it is in the context of the Hunter Biden laptop story. Well, I'm talking about the same thing, just in the context of Stormy Daniels.
Okay, but was that trial not allowed to be heard?
Was that trial not allowed to be heard? What?
Exactly. So that means that the trial was...
No. Explain to me what that sentence meant. What do you mean that trial wasn't allowed to be heard? I'm really confused.
Heard as in heard by the court. The trial made it to the stand. Exactly right. Now, what about the Hunter Biden laptop?
Yeah, I think the FBI confirmed that it was his authentic laptop.
Okay, so and then when was all that occurring? When did that happen? Before or after the election?
After the election, just like the Stormy Daniels.
Exactly. Okay, so now let's keep.
So if it of occurring after the election would qualify it as suppression of information from voters, well, we do understand the court that ruled that he had paid Stormy Daniels that money and convicted him of falsification of business records also occurred after the election.
Okay, so let's keep going down this train of thought here, right? Let's keep this train of thought, right? So when was the laptop case initially brought forward, and when was it indicted, and when should it have been heard?
I don't know the dates for any of those things.
All pre 2020, which means that they continued to push it off. They continued to push it off. They continued to push it off, and then they started alleging all the
same thing with the courts that we're talking about Stormy Daniels and the felony counts for falsification of business records. Alvin Bragg was talking about that as soon as 2019.
Okay, so again, the Stormy Daniels entire case. How does any of that political? How should any of that even play into the election when in comparison the Hunter Biden laptop plays directly into political shenanigans that he did
specifically what about?
Okay, so Ukraine.
Like what about Ukraine?
His dealings in Ukraine with
Hunter Biden?
The Hunter Biden.
Okay.
With,
I mean, if you could hold to the claim that Hunter Biden having dealings with Ukraine is political, right? Well, I'd be able to say, like, not only, right, that is Trump cheating on one of his wives with a Peace Star political, because once again, what happened to Bill Clinton after he cheated on his wife?
But that was in office.
I could say that specifically speaking, right, it should have been political. That Donald Trump's dad, Fred Trump, right, got arrested at a KKK rally. But I think that my main point here is like there was widespread, definite fraud attempted by Trump in the 2020 election when he attempted to overthrow the results of the election through his fake electorates plot. And now the claim is about Hunter Biden's laptop story. No, Donald Trump attempted to overthrow the election because he believed, and well, he said, he could have been lying, that it was rigged by the right. I just want to agree here, right? Would you ever vote for someone that has attempted to overthrow the results of a federal election?
So again, it's not an overthrowing of the results whenever you look at the totality of the evidence that was compiled, such as the political persecution with the entire process.
Tommy, so we could have this conversation after you answer my question. Would you ever vote for someone that's attempted to overthrow the results of a federal election?
No.
Okay. Donald Trump attempted to overthrow the results of the 2020 election with use of fake certificates of ascertainment. So what he did is he sent fake slates of electorates to 7 different key swing states prior to January 6th with the certification of the vote, and he sent them with false certificates of ascertainment saying that Trump literally won those states when he literally lost. They then took those fake certificates of ascertainment and they sent them into Congress on January 6th to be certified as real by Mike Pence, with the real votes being thrown out. This was certified not only by the governor's office of the individual states, with them going to Congress on January 6th saying that they don't know where these false certificates of ascertainment came from, pleading to Mike Pence not to count them. But then this was also affirmed by Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, Trump's 2 personal lawyers that actually lost their law licenses after the attempted coup. They admitted it in court and are currently seeking immunity. And then Donald Trump himself, right, admitted in the past January 6 indictments as well as to the Supreme Court that, yeah, he did send these alternative slates of electorates into Congress, right? But he should be protected from any criminal repercussions due to presidential immunity. But in order to appeal for presidential immunity, he had to argue that it was an official act of his presidency, right, taking responsibility for it. So in court of a law, Donald Trump has taken responsibility for attempting to overthrow and change the outcome of a federal election.
Okay, so again, if we go all the way back to the entire beginning of this conversation, right, where we stated what are the things, okay? So step number one, right? The very first thing that happened is the political persecution of Donald Trump, right? This has been since day one. There's been no other president that has had to endure the type of things that you as the left has thrown at him, right? The entire...
And Neil, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. As a 19-year-old Republican who loves politics, I really appreciate your passion. You're awesome, man. I appreciate you for the love. Go ahead, man.
So if we look at it, right, since day one, there's been a persecution of Donald Trump since day one. You can look at every single court case and then say, okay, when you take those cases in front of a jury and try him and say,
hey, Tommy, this is all great, and I don't mind having a conversation with you about political persecution of Trump, but like you said that you would never vote for someone that's attempted to overthrow a government and rig the outcome of an election. I explained to you in great detail how that is something Trump has admitted to doing, and then in your response, you just ignore it all and go back to political persecution. So we could talk about multiple things, Tommy. With all due respect, I'm going to mute you now. We could talk about multiple things on the live, and in fact, we could talk about the like supposed political persecution of Trump next. But we need to stay on one topic at a time. And right now, I would like you to have a conversation about the things that I had brought up. So we're just going to recap it in like 10, 15 seconds. I asked you if you'd ever vote for someone that's attempted to overthrow the results of an election. You answered verbally saying no, right? In which I then detailed to you how that's exactly something that is what Trump did, right? And I even detailed to you how he's admitted to it. So please either concede that you shouldn't vote for Trump given that he's tried to change the outcomes of an election, or, right, argue the points that I brought up, instantiating that what I said was incorrect.
So we'll start here. You saying that he tried to overthrow is your opinion of that? My opinion of him. Hold on. Are you going to let me answer, or
you can't just
are
say
you
that's my opinion?
But, okay, but that's the opinion that you brought forward, right? I don't know if that's your ideology or not, but here's my ideology. Okay, so you're saying that he tried to overthrow the government. I'm saying that that is not the case because of the various factors that played into this election and the things that could not have been certified that were certified anyways, such as ballots coming out from underneath the table, such as dead people voting, so on and so forth. So there's things that were not correct. Personally, I think we should have had a revote, an in-person ID only revote, because I know of myself at least a dozen illegal aliens that have voted in 2016.
Really? How did they vote?
They walked in, they used dead people's credentials and voted.
Oh, so they just committed fraud. Got it. So I have a question. If they could get a dead person's social security number, why can't they get a dead person's ID?
Well, then you think it would match the ID on file?
Well, I mean, if they can match the social security number on file, of course.
And well, so no, because the social security number doesn't have a photograph attached to it, right? Does your social security card have a photograph of you on it?
Wait, you think that when you go in to vote, they check your picture?
No, but I'm saying that they should.
I'm saying that they would do that in accordance with the ID. If they can make a fake voter registration, stealing a dead person's social security number, what's stopping them from making a fake ID?
Sure. And have you ever seen somebody get their fake ID scanned?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and then it comes up to the real ID, and if your picture is not the picture associated with that ID,
that's not what happens. No, when you like scan an ID, right? It's just like pulling data, right? And if it would align with like the framework and like the construction of real ID information, you're good to go, right? All that an ID scanner does, right, is that it pulls the information, and then it confirms that. The name matches up with the address, matches up with all that information.
Have you ever been a police officer?
No.
Okay, so whenever you're a police officer and you're sitting in your patrol cruiser,
the $2 on PayPal. Oh, so now you're saying like they're gonna scan them and like run them against state databases?
It would have to be a federal database, correct?
I mean, well, the same thing is true for voter registration, though.
So okay, again, so that's my idea. I'm not saying this is how it is. I'm saying this is how it should have been. They should have done a recount. They should have had everybody.
Wait, so you're saying that undocumented migrants are voting for dead people?
Yes, they are. 100%.
Can you give me any widespread evidence of this?
Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, my fiance who passed away.
I want like a source to denote that this was seen on the.
I'll tell you what. Give me your email, and I'll send you her registration card where they voted for her as a Democrat.
No. I want a source that shows that this is happening on the macro scale.
I mean, so if it happens to one person, you don't think it happened to many? I can give you.
Yeah, we
7
should have
instances
evidence that it happened to many. Where's the source that this happened on the macro scale?
I have evidence. I can show you proof where it happened at least 7 times. One for my kid's mom, and 7 times with illegal aliens that work.
If it happens so much in your own personal life, wouldn't we see this on the macro scale?
Absolutely, you would.
Okay, so then give me a source that demonstrates that this happened on the macro scale. I don't want your anecdotal evidence. I want a source that demonstrates it happened on the macro scale.
So what you're saying is you won't accept evidence that proves that it occurred. You just want somebody else to have compiled a list of evidence. You're not willing to say.
No, you're saying that you have anecdotal experiences of this at least happening 7. You said that you have anecdotal experience of this happening at least 7 times within your own life. Right?
Absolutely.
If that's the case, we'd see this repeated hundreds or thousands of times in the entirety of the U.S. There should be at least one source out there that would demonstrate this widespread issue of undocumented migrants voting for dead people. So please give me a report or a study that indicate that this was happening on the macro scale.
Give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to pull the source for you. 2 seconds.
Phenomenal. This will be great. This will be great. This will be great. The greatest conversation ever. Gilberto, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. You were absolutely phenomenal, saying Idaho Bravo voted blue. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's get some Gilbertos down below in that chat. Thank you for the $20. And Aaron, thank you for the $2.24. And Danielle, thank you for the Daniel, sorry. Thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo for trying to educate the MAGAs. Thank you so much, Daniel. You were absolutely phenomenal. Massive W Gibraltos, massive W Daniels in the chat. I really appreciate you guys for your donations. If you do want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal are in my bio. Then Cameron, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. You were phenomenal, Cameron.
Ballotpedia.com, AP News. Those are just the top 2.
Okay, AP News. What's the name of the AP News article? I can't hear you when you're on pause.
The first one that I pulled up was Ballotpedia. That's the one that I have it currently on.
Okay, what's the name of the article? This is widespread evidence of undocumented migrants voting with dead people's credentials.
Hold on, I'm going to copy and paste it so I can read it exactly.
I just want to know the name of the article.
Votes cast in the name of deceased people.
All right, so let's read this about how undocumented migrants are casting votes in the name of deceased people. Phenomenal. All right, so, well, I mean, 3 sentences in, out of the 180 million people, out of the 170 million people that voted in 2020, there's 1,200 proven cases. And this says nothing about undocumented migrants. In fact,
again, that's
referenced
proven
once
cases
on this page.
That's proven cases. So if you take that scale that have been proven of 1,000 people, then you can guarantee it to have been done.
Okay, then it also says here that this is the Heritage Foundation's voter fraud database contained, as of December 2019, 19 cases since 1997.
Okay, and then what happened in 2020? Over 1,000 proven, right?
So where does it say that?
Okay, so you just read it that there was 1,000 cases of proven during the election, and then pre that,
those are cases. Those are cases of voter fraud, right? When we reference it down to dead people, right? That's 19.
So you're saying pre-2019. That's not at all what you just read. Let me go back.
No. So once again, it literally says they've found since the 90s 21. Yeah, this is a Heritage Foundation, by the way, guys. Yeah, the Heritage Foundation. They found 2,100 cases of voter fraud since
1,200. So it's 1,200. So you're not even reading it. You're just picking out small pieces that you want to make it look like it fits your rhetoric.
I'm literally just trying to read your story. And where on here does it talk about undocumented migrants?
1,200. So again, if you paid attention to what I told you, right, then you would know that. First of all, how are they going to prove who it was of undocumented?
That's not what I asked you. You made the claim
that I know of were undocumented aliens.
Hey, Tommy, you made the claim that you could prove that on the macro scale, that undocumented migrants are voting in mass. What you gave me was the Heritage Foundation saying that they've proven 2,100 cases since 97 without accounting for less than 0.0000001% of the vote. Wait, I'm so sorry. Wait, this proves. Whoa. This actually proves that Biden won 2020. The Heritage Foundation only found 21 cases of fraud in the election that they think, one of the most far right-leaning think tanks thinks, was voter fraud. How many votes did Biden win by?
Okay, so again, you completely misrepresented
No. How
the
many
entire
votes
thing.
did Biden win
You're
by?
completely full of shit, dude. You don't even read the entire thing. You're full of shit, bro.
How many
You're full of
votes
shit.
did Biden win by in 2020? He left. He ran away because his own source disputes what he was saying. He gave me a source from the Heritage Foundation that says that they were able to prove 2,100 cases of voter fraud, right? I'm interpreting this as reading that is since the 90s. If every single one of those cases was in 2020, the Heritage Foundation agrees and believes that Biden won because there wasn't enough fraud to overthrow the results of the election. Oh my God, he got cooked and he ran away. Of course he did. Phenomenal. We're going to move on to our next guest. Let's go and see what they have to say. Oh my God. And then of course he comes in and blames undocumented migrants for it all. And by the way, on this website, undocumented migrants aren't mentioned once. See how easy it is to pick apart and dispute these Republican shit talking points? Justin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo saying MAGA hates facts. No, he literally hated the facts so much that he ran away. Like, he wasn't even interested in engaging in a conversation with me about the facts and how his own source, the Heritage Foundation, disputes what he believes in. He would instead just continue to, prefer to continue to believe in what he believes in and not engage with an alternative perspective, even when the alternative perspective would be reliant on a source which he would obviously accept, that being the Heritage Foundation. Hey, what's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Hey, I just want to say, I find it funny how MAGAs call you a bully when they do nothing but bully me for being neurodivergent. That's all I want to say.
For real, man. I appreciate you for coming up. You're a G. We love you here.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Love you.
Let's get some W's in the chat for the guest. We love you here. Shout out to the homie. Everyone, show him some love. Show him some love. Our live just got flagged for civic and electoral integrity. Like, I'm over here defending the outcome of the election, and then TikTok wants to take me down for it. Crazy work. We love you here, bro. We love you here. We got a lot of us in here that are a little bit neurodivergent, huh? All right. If you guys do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms compared to about 30% here at TikTok. And that is what allows me to continue to travel around, go boots on the ground in a bunch of these different states and have fun. I appreciate everyone so much for your support. What's up, Emmy? Are you voting for Trump?
I'm so sorry, Dean. I didn't mean to join.
No, you're absolutely all good, Emmy. You are all good. Don't even worry about it. We're going to move on to our next guest. All right. For the 6.3 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, good to see you all. Come to PA. I'd love to come to PA. I'm thinking about heading out to Nevada here soon. Like, we only have like another week and a half tops before the election, right? And I wanted to go boots on the ground one more time. And I understand I'll be taking a lot of time off of streaming, but I just love that shit so much. What's up, y'all? Are you guys voting for Trump? All right. No one's voting for Trump. Literally no one's here. We got a bunch of RNC bots. Yeah. Oh, hi, you're here. Why are you voting for Trump?
Rather pay less for gas and groceries and...
Okay, wait, do you think that energy independence makes gas less expensive?
I think that Trump has a way better economic policy.
Yeah, we could talk about his economic policy next, but do you think that energy independence makes gas less expensive?
No.
Okay, so then how did Biden and Harris make gas more expensive?
Cutting off the pipeline.
Okay, cutting off the Keystone XL pipeline couldn't cause higher prices of gasoline. And the reason that I say that is because it wasn't currently producing gasoline. So it didn't impact the oil supply curve. So when it was shut down, that was gross, have some decorum, right? It couldn't have increased prices because equilibrium price would have maintained consistency. Secondarily, right, the goal that you'd be hoping to achieve there is a reduction in U.S. crude oil supply because the pipeline was shut down. But we've actually only seen increases in the U.S. crude oil supply since Biden and Harris have gained presidency.
All right, you asked questions to start off, so let me ask you some questions. What do you think Kamala is gonna do?
Her name's Kamala.
Whatever.
No,
What
it's
do you
not
think
whatever.
she's gonna?
Pronounce her
All
name
right,
right.
dude. What do you think she's gonna do in the next 4 years that she didn't have time to do in the last 4 years?
Yeah, well, things that she's going to do now that she hasn't already, right, is like the implementation of her tax policy that serves to 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class to reduce income inequities, to make the country as a whole better off by increasing her GDP and giving more purchasing power to the average American. She's also going to institute and codify federal protections for every single American woman and girl's right to choose, right, ensuring that grave victims can get abortions, including the 65,000 that were denied abortions in the last 3 years, and the 1 out of every 3 women in our country that currently doesn't have elective access to abortion. Right. And we'd also see policy initiatives from her to increase the overall housing supply by offering $25,000 subsidies for some home buyers developing or buying newly developed properties. Like, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. We'd see that she wants to cap the amount that any American citizen could pay out of pocket for pharmaceuticals to $2,000 a year. And she also wants to increase the child tax credit to reduce childhood poverty.
So why wasn't this done in the last 4 years?
Yeah, because she was focused on other things like the Chips and Science Act to bring 20% of the global chips production here at home in America by 2030, or the
It seemed like to me they were more focused on giving money to other countries and helping out other people outside of the U.S. than people inside the U.S.
What percentage of her federal budget goes to other countries?
Well, being that they left billions of dollars in military grade weapons and also vehicles and whatnot overseas, and also gave billions of dollars to other countries. You tell me.
Okay, well, the answer is 2%. But if you want to reference the things left in Afghanistan that saved money so we could relegate more money to Americans.
How about the fact that America's in debt and they're giving... Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, leaving the military equipment in Afghanistan and breaking it so it's inoperable was less expensive than shipping it back. And then secondarily, there's actually, right, under Trump's pullout plan. So
what about the tangible money that was left overseas?
Where?
The currency that was left in Afghanistan and the weapons.
How much currency
Why couldn't they ship that back? Why couldn't they just
Afghanistan?
bring it back with the soldiers?
We didn't anything that was left in Afghanistan was destroyed because it was more expensive to leave it there and destroy it than to bring it back.
Destroyed by who, and what proof or
By our
documents
government?
could you present that proves that?
The like the pullout plan, right? You could read the pullout plan.
All right, read it.
Okay. I mean, that's just like a weird thing to ask me for a source for, but sure, I got you. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping. Yeah, sure. There we go. CNN, NBC, Radio Free Europe, Radio Foreign Policy. There we go. The U.S. left billions of dollars worth of weapons in Afghanistan, and then it goes over how they destroyed them all. It's also the case that like the pictures that you'll see of like our fighter jets of also, hey, real quick, everyone's like CNN with a bunch of different laughing faces. I gave 5 sources. Like, if you don't want CNN, just reference.
I heard CNN and NBC. What were the other 3?
Foreign Policy and factcheck.org.
Let's talk about foreign policy. Actually, what do you think about the difference in foreign policy between? This isn't a pivot, bro. This is a different subject. We talked about that already. This is how debates work. We carry on the conversation. We don't just stay on one thing.
I can't believe you just said that. Okay. Yeah, go for it, man. What do you want to talk about?
I think his foreign policy is a lot better than Harris.
Okay. Why?
It's focused on America first.
No, the fuck it's not.
How's it not?
No,
Renegotiating trade deals, fostering peace agreements in the Middle East.
Oh my
How is it
god.
Not? Stronger national security.
Shit. Killy,
Explain
I
how it's
appreciate
not.
you so much for the $5 on
Instead of
Venmo.
reacting to what I said, explain why it's not.
Yeah, like the reason that like not funding Ukraine is putting America last is because that's us honoring a contractual agreement that we have with them called the Budapest Memorandum from the 90s, where we said if they give up their nukes, we'll protect them if they're invaded. When we don't fund them and we dishonor that agreement, right, that decreases the likelihood of us able to get more denuclearization agreements with other foreign adversaries like Iran, Iraq, or North Korea, right, putting Americans' life at a greater level of threat because we no longer have the ability to denuclearize these foreign adversaries. right? Like also when he tried to coup the country and overthrow the result of the election, that was not putting America first, right? When he like shot down the bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago so he could campaign on the continuation of the crisis, that was not putting America first.
What does this have to do with foreign policy?
Then like also if it is the case, and then it is the case that you said renegotiating trade deals. Are you talking about the USMCA? And if so, the point of that trade deal was to reduce tariff related inquiries between like international trade when he's currently campaigning on flat tariffs on all goods imported into the country. All right. Then also Trump, like Russia literally fucking owns Trump. We have leaked Kremlin documents where Putin says that he's easy to manipulate, and we know that he's interfered in the last 3 elections, including this one. He absolutely does not place America first. And in fact, America First, the alt-right movement led by Nick Fuentes, is not voting for Donald Trump and are abstaining from the vote because they don't believe in accordance with their values that he's putting America first.
Okay. I like that you brought up Ukraine and Putin, and I like the fact that you brought up that Putin said allegedly Trump was easy to manipulate, being that he didn't invade Ukraine until Trump was out of office, because we all know that he was intimidated by Trump. Otherwise, he wouldn't meet up with him in person, shake hands with him, cower in fear on camera, and
we know that he's not intimidated
wait,
by
dude,
Trump.
come on.
Trump believed Putin's word of mouth over U.S. intelligence.
Okay.
Sarah, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo saying love watching.
Let's talk about the fact that he waited till Trump was out of
Olivia,
office
thank you for the $2 on Venmo.
Ukraine.
Justin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Because he knew
Khalil, thank you for the $5
Democrats
on Venmo.
are
Emily,
soft,
thank you for the
bro.
$11. No, that's just speculatory bullshit. Like I'd say
No, dude,
that we don't have any reason
it's
to
clear.
believe.
It's clear.
How is it clear?
Dude,
you're just saying, dude, your argument is that it's obvious. My argument is that we have reason to believe that's not the case because of the leaked Kremlin documents, because of Helsinki, because of Russian interference pushing for Trump to be elected in the last 3 elections.
I like how
and
you
we actually
have to
don't have
say
sufficient
reason
knowledge
to believe.
to believe a hypothesis over another hypothesis, insofar as why Russia didn't invade Ukraine under Trump but did under Biden and Harris.
Because he knows they're soft and they're not going to do anything. I like how you say reason to believe when we
Wait, the Democrats are actively doing more for Ukraine than the Republicans. Remember, Democrats want to protect
and they're not doing
fund
shit for America.
and then Republicans don't.
Cool.
Taylor, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Wait, don't pivot, bro. Right, your claim
I'm not.
was
I'm literally
that
bouncing
the
off of
Democrats
what you
are
said. They're
soft
helping
on
Ukraine. How
Russia
about helping
and the
America,
Republicans are strong on Russia.
nation
No,
you're
that's a
above?
fucking pivot. You said
No, it's
that
not at
yes,
all.
it
You
is.
literally said,
yes, it is. Because you're
hey, they're helping out Ukraine. How
I
about
will
helping
verbally.
America?
No, I'm gonna
The
mute
nation-
you. I will literally fucking explicitly detail your pivot. You're pivoting from which political party in our country is softer / more stern on Russia, right? And you're using that to pivot back to who's helping Americans out more. Let's stay on one topic at a time, right? Because the issue, right, of fighting against Russia through support for Ukraine proves that the Democrat platform is harder on Russia. And that's why Putin has interfered in the last 3 elections, including this year, to get Trump elected. It was the Mueller report in 2016 that proved it. It was a DOD and the CIA that proved it in 2020. And now it's the DOJ that's proved it in 2024.
How can you say I'm pivoting when we were talking about economic policy and you went to
Because we actually weren't talking about economic policy.
Segue.
We were talking about who's more stern and strict and hard on Russia.
And what let's look in the pudding, bro, because there's plenty of proof. They did not invade Ukraine until soft-ass Biden and Harris were up in there.
Right,
Trump,
but I dispute the
Trump
claim
had them shook.
that they're soft.
They're completely shook.
And the reason I dispute the claim that they're soft is because they're the only administration wanting to stand against Russia by funding Ukraine and fighting for more NATO opposition against Russia, right? And I'd say that we have no reason to believe one hypothesis over another hypothesis insofar as why they didn't invade under Trump. But we know that Putin wants Trump back in office, and we know that Putin wants Russian expansion. And if we know these 2 facts are true, all that this tells us is that Trump being in office, right, at least in Putin's eyes,
I can
makes
tell you
Russian
why he
expansion
thinks
easier.
I can tell you why I think he wants Trump back in office, but I need you to tell me why you think Putin is wanting to expand Russia.
Because
other than the fact that he invaded
USSR
Ukraine under
back.
Biden.
He just wants the old USSR back.
You genuinely think that?
Of course.
Then why doesn't he put that into place? I mean, he's in power.
He annexed Crimea. He has now launched a war in Ukraine. Right? They just don't have sufficient resources to do it all at once because Russia's a crumbling fucking country. And I know that I know that that's true because like Putin said that. It's what Putin
Okay.
has said that he wants to do. Georgia as well. Like fucking read, bro.
With your bro, why do you curse in a debate? Like,
Okay,
anyway,
if
with
using,
your
if
words
using,
and your quotations,
so using
let's talk
cuss
about
words
the
is
fact
bad.
that you said Trump
Is raping
in a
women
debate
bad?
is crazy. That has nothing to do with debate. Anyways, in your words, you said that Putin said that Trump is quote unquote easy to manipulate.
Yeah,
Why
read
was there
criminal
no
documents.
wars under Trump? Why was there full
Well,
peace
there was
under
wars.
Trump?
There
How come
wasn't.
no other president before Trump, if he's so bad, made peace with Korea like he did? That was history making, and we know this. Me and you both know this. Whether you'll say it or not, I don't know.
It's just a fake claim. So yeah,
It's not a fake claim. We saw the photos. We saw the
Okay.
videos. He was the first president to step foot in South Korea.
You mean North Korea?
North Korea, whatever.
It's North
Sorry,
Korea.
Korea
it's
as
not
a
South
whole.
Korea.
Korea as a whole. How about that?
Korea. There's no such thing as Korea as a whole. There's two countries, North and South Korea.
All right. Anyway.
And he didn't make peace with him. They actually continued nuclear testing right after their summit, where he failed to get a denuclearization agreement, and then Trump just went back to calling him Rocket Man. And then you said that there's no wars under his administration.
I have
That's
guns
false.
at home that I clean, but that doesn't mean I'm planning on committing homicide, bro. That makes no sense.
So
Like, you
then
can't
what
just
would
say
be your
because they
measure
are
of
doing
greater-
nuclear testing, they are planning to go to war. They're
So
just
what-
readying
what's-
themselves for it.
No, that's how they like intimidate South Korea and other countries. But what would your measure be for peace like after the summit be? Because you said that he achieved peace with North Korea, right?
Well,
What's
there
your
was no
qualifier
wars
for
under
peace?
Trump at all, right?
Okay, that's not true. We had a Turkish-Kurdish war caused by pull out of Kurdistan, right? Trump basically
What
said,
does that have to do with us or NATO?
boom, that's nothing. Well, I mean, it kind of does because it was
Exactly.
caused by our pull out of Kurdistan, right?
So in Trump's hands, there was nothing. No wars.
Yeah, Trump didn't cause any wars, just like Biden and Harris didn't cause any wars.
But in their hands, under the UN and everything, they saw that their quote unquote ally was soft. So they were like, I'm going to get in here and do this thing because I know they're.
Wait, what
that
war? What,
America's
wait,
not going to do anything
wait,
about it.
wait,
Russian
wait,
invasion
wait,
on Ukraine.
Wait. If you're just saying that the Biden-Harris administration caused Russia's invasion of Ukraine because it happened in the world while they were president, then I could definitely say that Trump caused the Turkish-Kurdish war, Trump caused the Yemen genocide, Trump caused.
How
the
so?
proxy
I'd
war
love
that
I'd
we
love for you to
had
back that up.
in Syria fighting.
How can
against
you
Russian
correlate
troops.
those two logics at all?
Just because Trump is weak and it happened under his term, of course.
No, you can't say that because that has nothing to do with NATO or the UN.
Do you see how you're
So,
debating yourself right now?
do you see how your logic is folding on itself? You're
I
not
was-
even
I was
using the same
using-
logic I am. Like,
Yes.
Do you see the problem with the premise of your statement?
Dude,
I'm saying,
dude, oh my god, I'm gonna start doing this more. So like this guy's like lacks so much self-awareness that he can't tell when I say that he caused the war by being weak and it happened under his term, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, that's piss poor logic, you sound so stupid.
no, you're
Brother.
trying to use my logic, but it's not working because it's not the same logic. My
So what's
logic
the
is that
difference?
Russia invaded Ukraine because we're supposed to be allies with Ukraine, and they saw that we weren't going to do anything because they knew that Biden and Harris are soft. They're not going to do
Wait,
anything about it.
name
other
the
than throw
allyships that
money.
we have with Ukraine and tell me how they were dishonored.
Russia was not supposed to invade Ukraine.
What
Under the UN.
fuck are you under UN?
You know what I'm talking about, bro. I don't know why you this is like your whole thing is like when someone trumps you, no pun intended, that you just like laugh or be
so-
like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? How about you debate me instead
So
of
I think that Mildred, I appreciate you so much for the $5 on
Here
PayPal,
we
and
go.
Christine, thank you for the $10 on PayPal as well. OMG, this guy's an idiot. I know. Thank you so
I'm
much.
an idiot,
Mildred
but
and
you
Christine.
literally read out donations so you can wait and think.
How can I be thinking while I'm reading off their name
Dude,
and their message?
You can do it in between people, bro. Like you don't have to do it while I'm talking. You do that shit all the time.
I
And I feel like it's literally like your way of running away for a second. Let me catch my breath.
No, it's my way of thanking the people that donate their
We'll
hard-earned
do it in
money
between
to me.
people. We're in a debate.
If you were more respectful, maybe I would.
I am respectful. I let you talk. You talk over me and you question my logic with what the fuck are you talking about?
Actually, like you're being like disrespectful just out
But
of
I'm
being
like
annoying.
not. Like I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm letting you talk, and I'm like talking when it's my turn.
So I just in one or two sentences, sum it up for me. How did
Don't
Biden
blink
and
your
Harris-
eyes with that egotistical like.
Did you just say how I was blinking my eyes is
Yes, bro, like,
disrespectful? Cameron,
so
thank you for the
smug of
dollar
you
on
to
PayPal.
like blink really fast and
Oh
close your
my
eyes
god!
when you're
Oh
talking.
my god! Are you
You drive a
joking?
Prius for sure.
Oh, is this a troll?
No.
Oh my! You don't blink, motherfucker! What?
No, when you talk, like you close your eyes real soft, like, and it's so smug.
Oh my god! You guys
Look!
wanna end me so bad.
Oh my god, bro! It's funny. Keep going.
What the? Okay, are you crushing?
There
Do
it
you
is.
wanna fuck me?
No, but I know you want to fuck me. Keep talking though.
So wait, you just okay? See, this is the projection. You just assume that. Wait, what the fuck did you just say? What the fuck did you just say? What? I'm so sorry. That just took a moment.
He muted
to, like,
me completely.
Why is it always, well, dude? Why is it always the cis het Republican white?
Can we keep
men
debating, or do you
that
want to
think
like?
all the liberal guys want to fuck?
I'm
'em?
obviously winning here.
It is
I'm
the
obviously winning
ultimate.
here.
Okay, how many continents are there?
Dude, 7.
That's
you keep
right,
muting
name
me
'em.
for what?
Name them.
What does that have to do with this debate?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Go back to losing. Thank you.
I'm not-
Anyways, I'm so sorry. That was just a crazy fucking comment.
I'm not losing. You
so
missed
tell
the mute
me in
button.
like what?
North
I'm muting
America,
you. I'm muting
South
you.
America, Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Australia.
Africa. There you go. Fucking
Africa.
hell. You can't even
Thank
name the
you.
goddamn 7 continents. Jesus
I just
Christ.
did. What, bro? You have no argument at all. You just like pivot.
I
and segue to something
I literally
completely-
had to help
Hey,
you finish.
how many
naming
colors
the
are there in the
continents.
world? I'm losing.
I
Count to
literally
100, I'm
I
losing.
literally just had to help you finish naming the continents.
No, I was literally on the way to it, and you interrupted me so you could try to make me look
You know
dumb.
what?
But it didn't work.
Could I just chat? Did it work?
Hey, how many hairs do I have on my ass? Who gives a shit? We're talking about the fucking presidential election, weirdo.
1 second. Chat, did it work? Did it make him look dumb? Thank you. Thank you.
Not at all.
Thank you.
muting
you
me,
know,
you're losing.
If you want to think I'm losing, that's fine. Like, I don't know. I feel like a good, like, I want to say 6 out of 10. Jeremy, thank you so much for the $2 on Venmo
I
for the soft
literally know
eyeballs.
you're losing.
And Kenneth, thank you so much for the $2 on Venmo. He said Australia. That's yeah. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't like. I want to be honest with you, man. I feel like a lot of like the right wingers that come up in here, like actually lack so much general intelligence. That
Who's
they'll
to say
think
I'm
that
a
they're
right
winning
winger?
And that you're voting for Trump. Joanna, I appreciate you for the $8 on PayPal. And Naomi, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. W's for Jonah and Naomi. And DJ, thank you for the $5 on Venmo to stop blinking. They actually think that they're winning these conversations. Like, it's embarrassing.
I am winning, bro. You literally stopped the debate, started muting me, and talking to your followers. You're losing.
Okay, well then let's just reiterate one point so I could drill it in that no, you're not fucking winning. You said that there are no
I'm
wars in the
100%
world.
winning. You think you
mind if I
can't
finish?
lose a debate because you start muting people?
I
or
definitely
kicking them
don't think
off,
I could lose a
or
debate
start
to you.
reading donations.
Skyro, I'm literally going to demonstrate to you how you're losing the debate and how much of a cakewalk this is for me. You said that there
Not
was.
because you're clearly.
Do you mind if
losing,
I
and
finish?
You will mute me again.
The reason why I may mute
we
you
go back
again
to
is
the
because
debate?
you're. The reason I may mute you again is because you're interrupting me right now. I will happily stop like muting you if you could just do this conversation
ahead and finish your point,
without the incessant interruptions. And Shellick, I thank you for the $15 on Venmo for the eye drops. I appreciate you so much for the love. Let's get some massive W Shellickas down below. Thank you so much. You're on pause, man. So yeah, you said that you're winning. You said that there was no wars in the world under Trump's administration. There was. We had the Turkish-Kurdish
That were
war.
pertinent to us as Americans. But go on.
What do you mean by pertinent to us?
The Russian war with Ukraine, or the invasion with Ukraine, is much more relevant to us as American citizens.
Okay,
than
so you're
the
just
one you
so you're
mentioned,
so
the
now
Turkish
you're
war.
now
That had
you're
nothing
so
to do
your
with us
claim
as
is
a
now.
whole.
Well, it was caused by us, by our pull out of Kurdistan. If you knew a damn thing, then for you to also say that
How so?
our
I want you
fucking
to- I want
proxy
you to-
war, where we had boots on the ground fighting Russian troops in Syria, wasn't pertinent to us. That's fucking insane.
I didn't
right?
say it was.
But then
I said
this
it
is
completely
also a
was.
shift of the goalposts because there is a
I said it
complete
was.
difference between the claim that there was no wars in the world, meaning that there was world peace while Trump was president, and saying that there was no wars that were sufficiently pertinent or bad. Okay, so that is a shift of the goalposts, right? Well, you recognize, concede, and agree that there's a difference between the claim that there's no wars currently going on in the world and that there's no wars that you believe are as important, relevant, or pertinent to us.
I never claimed that there was no wars under Trump.
And you've lost the debate.
How?
Because you did.
What? How do you guys follow this clown? He sucks.
Read the chat.
Bro, that has zero to do with me talking to you one-on-one. I haven't read the chat this entire time. That's how people
Read it
do
right
things.
now.
They start reading the chat.
No,
Dude,
read
these are
the
your
chat
followers
right now.
talking. Why would they side with me?
Because they're not fucking delusional, and you said that there was no
I'm not
new
delusional
wars under
either,
Trump?
obviously, because I just spanked you. You kept getting quiet, kept
Oh my
muting me, and
God.
started just.
Is this, guys, is this
Thank
really
you for
like
the
the level of
$24 for the.
Is this really the level of like I don't know, like these people like
think
come up
you're,
in
like,
here
the
that
only,
act like they
delusional
can
guy here.
gaslight in front of like 8,000 people. Buddy, you can't gaslight in front of 8,000 people, man.
Dude, you're the
but
only
Olivia,
one
thank you
gaslighting.
so
You
much
have
for the $2
Here we
on
go.
Venmo. Thank
Point
you so much
proven.
for the love, Olivia. 1 second, let me thank my donors. Be quiet. Trisha, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Heather, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo as well. Heidi, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. Devin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the crashing out fun. Shelika with a $15 once again. Thank you so much for that love, Shelika. You were absolutely spectacular. Thank you so much. Let's see, Timberly with the $30 on Venmo to kick the uneducated mess. We're going to go ahead and have fun with our food with one last question, and then we're going to go ahead and kick them. Let's get some W Timberleys in the chat.
Of course you're going to kick me, dude. I would too.
Yeah,
if I were you,
Skyro,
honestly.
I got a question for you. Can you name one piece of legislation that Donald Trump influenced to get passed under his administration that benefited the average American more so than rich people?
How about you answer me this?
Alicia, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. And Jeremy, thank you for the $2 on Venmo as well.
All right,
Thank
I'm
you
just
for
gonna
Alicia
leave,
and
dude,
Jeremy.
every
No,
time I try to
well,
talk.
you're losing because you want to leave.
I'm not losing, bro.
Yes,
Every
you are.
time I
You
try
wanna
to
leave.
talk, you start screaming.
Amber, thank you for the $1 on Venmo.
There it is.
Go ahead and leave. Go ahead and run away because you can't name a policy. Every single time. Every single time. That's what they do, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, I feel like I was just like made. I was conceived in the womb for talking to these cocky, stupid Trump supporters. I am just built for this shit. You know what I mean? Like, God, they can't do it to me. Like, no one, none of them. You know what I mean? So we just have these conversations. Hey, hello, are you voting for Trump? All right, they're not here. Guys, go back to spamming Trump. Go back to spamming MAGA down below in the chat if you do want to come up and debate. Megan, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we are double tapping away in that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 1 million double taps here today. We're actually already at 1 million. That's crazy. Let's try to get up to 2 million double taps while we are getting our next guest up in the box, y'all. So everybody just do be patient in that meantime, guys. And if you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in the bio. All right, as we've learned with the last guest, I will give y'all a shout out and thank you and even read off a message if you do have it attached. What's going on, Brad? Are you voting for Trump? Shar, are you voting for Trump? I mean, both of you guys were like vehemently and incessantly.
Yes, I'm
MAGA.
voting for Trump. There ain't no other way there, Dean. How are you, sweetie pie?
It's been a while.
Oh, have you remember me?
Of course I remember
ain't changed
you.
my bit a bit.
I missed you. I
My
missed you.
75 years are going strong.
Hell, good to hear. Mason, thank you for the $3
I just
on
been
Venmo.
watching you all the time, you know, Dean. If you
Uh-huh.
just change your mind, I'm telling you, you're ready to switch, buddy.
Oh no.
I don't care. You can't tell me that. I'm not one, Dean, honey. I'm not one to go on politics. I'm an old-fashioned woman. You'd have to know me. I got 2 boys. One's 50 some, actually, one's 45. One drives a train, one works at a law firm. And I
Nice.
talked about you.
Wow. Well,
believe you're
that's
a
good.
sweet
Good to
boy.
know that the word gets
I don't
around.
believe you mean and hateful and your little cuss words. I just think God's going to change you down the road. You wait and see.
God's gonna get
Dean,
God.
now,
Yeah.
Dean, you listen to me now. I'm giving you good advice. God's got something good for you. And it's not Harry and Parker and Chris, right? God's got something just for you, fella. Just for you. And you know why?
Yeah.
Because you don't believe and you say you're an atheist. You're not. You're not. If something would happen in your family, Dean, honey, the first one you'd call on is God to help him.
I'd get down on the hand. I'd start praying. Go back to church.
No,
Yeah.
well, you probably
Gabby and
wouldn't
Sarah,
go
thank
to
you for the
that
$5.
extremes, but I promise you,
Mhm.
you'd call out for God. If something happened to one of your parents and they needed a healing, you would call out for God.
Yeah. Amen, sister.
Yes,
so can
and
I
I believe you know that. But you know, I do watch you, Dean, and I listen to you. But I can't change my mind because there's just too much on both sides. It's not just Trump's side, but you know, in your heart, Harris has got a lot of bad stuff there too.
Let's talk about
You
it.
know it.
Why are you
right?
voting for Trump?
Right? Come on now, right? Am I right?
Well, I mean, just tell me why you're voting for Trump, and like, if you
Yes,
could point
I'm
out bad
voting
things
for
about Harris
Trump.
that are true, I'd
Okay,
agree.
now I'm
But
gonna
let's
tell you.
agree. So why
Now,
are you
see,
voting for
there
Trump?
you go, talking over me. I'm
You gotta
going
give
to
me a
tell you
chance
why
to
I'm
talk.
voting for Trump.
Okay.
Because if everybody says he's not a Christian and stuff, but you know what? That's not up to us to judge. God's the judge. And if he's asked forgiveness for anything, God forgives it. No sin is bigger than another. And Harris, well, I don't even want to say nothing bad. I try not to. But I just know that I'm going to follow Trump until I believe he's going to win it.
Do you mind if
I believe that in my heart. I just feel like God showed me he's going to win this, regardless of how much money Harris thinks. And Dean, let me ask you something.
I want to interject though. Can I say one thing?
Wait a minute, one time. All those followers that's following her, every one of them's on that Diddy list. Every one of them.
Okay. All right.
Every one of them. Now, and she's on it. She dated him.
Oh, so no, I'd like to clarify.
No. There's a story. She was yes,
Okay.
she did.
All right. Can I hop in here, please?
You go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I literally love you, Dean. I think you're a sweet guy.
Well, I appreciate you.
I'd like to take a paddle and bust your hind end.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not do that. All right.
I won't do that. I promise.
All right.
You're
All right,
so
great.
cute. You know, you're so cute. It just makes me mad. You're on the wrong side of the track.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right.
I think
Okay.
you're sweet as sweet can be.
As sweet as some of those good old
you're a
sweet
good
peas
guy.
with all that butter and yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Anyways, so about your claims. First of all, you were talking about how Trump's a Christian up in there. So
No, I said, don't that's between him and God.
Hey, but you got to ask for forgiveness.
Yes, you do, but you don't know that he hasn't.
We actually do.
No, you don't.
And
He said one time, long time back, that he wasn't a Christian. Now, he did say that. But God's brought him through a lot. And I'm telling you right now, that man's changed.
Bethany, thank you so much for the
that's my
$5.
opinion. I don't want to try to tell you, Dean, vote for Trump. You vote for who you want to vote for. And that's okay, because I'm not one to tell anybody to vote,
In 2018, Trump said on a C-SPAN interview that he's never asked God for forgiveness for
That's
things in his
right,
life.
but that don't mean he has it now. God
Destiny, thank you for the $5.
Yes.
I'm so sorry for interrupting you. I just have to read off this Venmo from Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents. I really appreciate you for that. Everybody, please show Tiffany some love in the chat. Thank you for the $20 and the 24 cents.
Thank you, Tiffany, for supporting Dean. I mean, I pray, thank God for people supporting you. This is your job. And you try to do the best you can do with it. But, I don't agree with you, and you ain't going to agree with me. But I'll give you something. You're the only one that called me up. I've tried Harry and all of them. They won't even let me come up. They just ignore me.
How about this? I will tell them to stop ignoring you and
They
to
ignore me
have
or
you up
they
for a
mute me.
conversation.
I'm going to tell you something. I told TikTok this.
Uh-huh.
I've been banned for 3 or 4 times. My son said, Mom, I can't believe you're banning on TikTok. I said, well, but that's what I do at night, Dean. I don't have, my husband passed. So I take and get on TikTok just to watch you guys. I love people.
Phenomenal.
I love you guys. And I do Harry. I just get mad. I just like to smack and put a piece of duct tape on his mouth.
Jesus Christ, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
See, I don't know
no.
what I'm saying because I'm not
No,
used
you
to this.
can't shoot. Oh, Mima.
Oh, you can't
no.
say that?
No.
What do I got to say?
No, you can't.
I told you I'm not smart with you.
It's not even just about TikTok terms of service. You can't like call for like violence and like. Hitting,
I'm
bad.
sorry. Well, my granddaughter, I got twin granddaughters. One of them lives in Vegas. She's a publicist, and the other one's a nurse. And she said, "Mama, you gotta," and she kind of watches out for me. And she said, "Mama, you gotta watch what you're saying when you're on the thing." I said, "Well, what can I say? I'm being honest. I ain't gonna hurt nobody. I'm 75 years old." She said, "Somebody'll be knocking on your door and coming after you." You know what I told her, Dean? I said, "What are they gonna do? Carry me out in my roller, my push chair?" I said, "Dean," I said, "I can't walk. They're gonna have to carry me." I don't mean to hurt nobody. I love
Oh my
everybody.
God.
And I am just, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm like
I know
crying
you
laughing
think I'm
over
a
here.
crazy woman. I'm not. I'm like this all the time. I'm more. I've never been on TikTok till after my husband. He's been gone 2 years. And Dean, we were married 57 years.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to tell you, I ain't changed my mind about Trump. Nothing can change me or sway me or nothing.
Well,
but I just wanted you to know, I respect what you do because you believe it. But
Hey.
God's going to change you. Now,
Well-
you mark my words someday, Dean. I'm going to come on here and say, Dean, God's got something good for you. And he has. You got a glow about you.
You just remind. So I come from a very conservative family. You remind me a lot of my like conservative family members. You know, you're right. I feel like the older you get, the less likely you are to change your views. I wish you'd vote
Yes.
blue. I really do. But
Well,
at the end of the day, I
Sam-
appreciate you for coming up in here and being sweet.
Well, I want you to know, from me to you, I love you, fella. You just keep doing what you feel in your heart, and and down the road. And I'm just going to say this, and I'll leave you. If you get to that polling booth and you're inside, nobody's going to know, Dean, if you vote red.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to move on to the next guest. Thanks for
Okay,
coming up
honey.
here, Mima. Jesus Christ. It's like, okay, that's the only positive interaction we'll have with a Trump supporter all day. You know what? We'll let Mima do her thing. She's probably from a state that hasn't voted blue since the Electoral College existed. It's okay. All right. Before we do, move on to our next guest, Tanner here. I got a couple donors to thank. I didn't want to interrupt her. Tia, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Ask Grandma how she'll explain voting for Trump to her granddaughter. So real. Maybe she could talk to the granddaughters about that. Thank you for the $20. Trey, thank you for the $5. Vanessa, thank you for the $5. Destiny, thank you so much for the $5. Bethany with the $5. Alex with the $5. Ciara with the $5. Gabby with the $5. Mason with the $3. And Megan with the $5. Thank you everyone so much for your love. And Kinsey, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Destiny, thank you for the $4 and the 20 cents. Rachel, thank you for the $10. And Ashley with the $2. Sunflower Seed with the $5 as well. You guys are phenomenal. Actually going off on the donations. Thank you all so very much. What's up? Are you voting for Trump, Tanner?
I am.
All right, let's talk about it, man. Why is that?
I don't know. This has been probably one of the hardest, I would say, elections for me. I'm 26, so this would be, I'd say the third I've voted for. So I don't know. I'm going with Trump. So.
And why's that?
I'd have to say I just don't know if I trust Kamala really. Like that's
Okay. I mean,
mainly the
if
thing.
your main thing is just like how much you could trust the candidate, right? There's no one that you could trust less in American politics than Trump. He lied over 30,000 times during his presidency and told the biggest sitting lie that any president has ever told with his denial of the outcome of the 2020 election. That's convinced 70% of Republicans to think that it was rigged. So like we don't even need to like evaluate Kamala Harris's character to see how trustworthy she is. We just need to know that no one is less trustworthy than Trump. And just like out of virtue of that fact, Kamala Harris is at least more trustworthy.
Okay. Well, but I see Kamala as, she made truancy illegal in California when she was a what was it?
No, she
what was
prosecuted
again?
she prosecuted reckless parents of truant children, and I agree with that. I think that is child endangerment. I would do that same thing for like parents that would like let their kids do drugs, right? Because it sets you up for a bad future and could make and build negative habits. I think that like with intention, like recklessly letting your kids skip school, right? Is bad. I completely agree with the prosecution of parents with truant children, right? If they're truant out of a place of like recklessness and like not truant out of a place of like they gotta like work or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Or like hospital visits or other things like that.
Yeah. And Regina, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W Reginas in the chat for the $25. Thank you so much for the love, W Reginas.
From her last 4 years, do you think there was anything that she did that really made you a supporter of Kamala? Like,
yeah, sure. I think the main thing that I really like about Kamala Harris was her ability to adapt and provide for the needs of more Americans by working with both sides of Congress. I think that that's something that we never saw under Trump, and that was just such a polarizing thing. And like that was just such a polar difference between the two candidates. Is Trump was very firm in his beliefs. They wouldn't aid or they wouldn't abet to anyone, all right, and he just wanted everyone else to conform to him. But meanwhile, Kamala Harris actively shifted her views to be able to meet in the middle of the of Congress, in the middle of the aisle in Congress, to swim to make good, effective bipartisan legislation. All right, and the Biden-Harris administration had some of the most monumental legislation in modern U.S. history. So, I mean, I think it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. Yeah. I still see Trump as more of an effective candidate just because he has already been president. He was president currently, or not currently, but in the past.
Okay, so Jimmy Carter's
so
been in
politics. Second.
Jimmy Carter's been in politics longer than Trump. Would you vote for Jimmy Carter over Trump?
Oh no, that guy's old as hell.
Okay, so you're saying that there's like a candidate can be in politics more than another candidate. Like Trump could have been president for 4 years more than Kamala Harris has been president, but there can also be like unredeeming qualities that would kind of displace that, right? Such as Jimmy Carter's age. So I'd say that there's unredeeming qualities that would displace his 4 years in service already, right?
Okay.
Most pertinently just be how undesirable his 4 years was. Like, yeah, he was our president already, but when he was president, he tried to ban all new Muslims from coming into our country. When he was president, he called for the incarceration of people that burn the American flag, even though the Supreme Court has ruled that that's protected under a First Amendment. When he was president, he said that we should take people's guns first and give due process second. When he was president, he literally tried to overthrow our democracy and overturn the results of the 2020 election. When he was president, he elected justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade that has placed 75,000 victims of rape that have gotten pregnant in our country, right? Sorry, 65,000 victims of rape that have gotten pregnant in our country to being forced to bear those children. Upon like many other things. Like he did so many bad and undesirable things during his first term.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's also not like it was his first time. You know, if I imagine if I was president, I would make big mess. Like I'd mess up pretty hard too. So like I don't see that as like I kind of just see it as a first attempt. Like he's got all this power. He's number one in the country. He's like ahead of everything. Like of course you're gonna mess up. Like you got all this pressure. Like I just kind of see it as maybe a redemption. Like this time he's coming in with other people in his team that are here to help him, and it's
wow.
You're as kind of a better idea.
You're like talking like my mom talked about me in my first track meet in 3rd grade when I lost the 300-meter dash.
Oh, dang.
Like,
okay.
no, this is the goddamn president of the United States of America that we're talking about here, you know?
It's true, yeah, and I've got more confidence in him than Kamala, so that's like that's just my main thing is like I don't see
Kamala
her
was her
being,
first time being VP of the country. Where were her massive, huge like mess ups that we could excuse because it was her first try?
I don't know. There was nothing she really did. So
no. She passed more legislation than Trump. She was more effective as VP than Trump was as P. Name any legislation that he that he influenced to get passed through Congress.
Well,
and then
that's
also
the thing.
Marcel, thank you for the $20 and the 24 cents on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Marcel. Everybody right now, show Marcel some love for the $20 and the 24 cents on Venmo. And Allison, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the unexpected crossovers with other people that you follow on TikTok. I had a very fun weekend. And Maddie, thank you for the $7. But go ahead.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, just I appreciate your time, man. Like,
dude,
I appreciate you.
Please research yourself. Like, research these issues more. I'd say that the one place where the Republican Party wins and is currently fucking blowing the Democrat out of the water with is like contorting what is true of the world around us to make it seem obvious and apparent that our current administration is bad by just literally preying on people that aren't politically educated. Like, please educate yourself on these things.
True, but it's very true, but it's hard to find any real like credible sources. I feel like nowadays, most sources that I take most of my things from, I'm sorry. I've been awake since like 3, so
no worries,
I'm
bro.
pretty tired.
Go take a nap. I appreciate you for coming up, Tanner.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Hey, for the 9,000 people hanging out with us in here today, it's so good to see you all. Everyone, double tap on that phone screen. Yo, Justin with the $5 on Venmo saying just voted Kamala. Everybody, show Justin some love for voting for Harris. Fuck yes, everyone, right now. Kumbaya around Justin. Let's go. Thank you for the golden necklace. What's up, Drewby? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump.
Oh, no. Why? No, terrible. Why?
I mean, I've always been in the middle. Just objectively looking, I don't see anything Kamala Harris has done that's actually good.
Oh, the Chips and Science Act was based. The PACT Act was based. The Inflation Reduction Act was based.
The Inflation Reduction Act really didn't do anything for anyone making under, I forget what the dollar amount per year is, but like for me, it kind of screwed me over.
How?
I had to pay $324 exactly more in taxes I paid, or more than I paid the year before.
Would you say that like our current like tax policy under the Biden-Harris administration is like a good reason that don't support them because of how it's like screwed you over?
Yes.
Okay, so we're actually still under Donald Trump's tax policy under the TCJA of 2017. And the reason that you've paid subsequently more in taxes year by year is because Donald Trump designed that tax policy to include immediate tax reliefs for the middle class, right? But those would sundown as the years were to pass. So that tax burden on the middle class would increase year by year, right? So that is literally all due to Trump and his policy.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like that's why... that's like another reason why it's really bad, and that also just has to do with like the staggered IRS enforcement of his tax plan. So, yeah,
totally understandable. I'm going to vote today, so I'm trying to make my decision.
If there was like, okay, we're not even gonna treat this as a debate. Ask me anything. Darla, thank you for the $20 on Venmo saying go Kamala Harris. Thank you so much for the $20. Everyone, Darla's in the chat for the $20.
Another issue that I have with that is like between the border policies with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, why would you favor Kamala Harris over Donald Trump?
Good question, and I'll give you a great answer. So the reason I'd favor Kamala Harris over Donald Trump here is because she's the only one with a real plan. Her plan is Langford's bipartisan border bill that he showed up in Congress with 2 years ago that Donald Trump torpedoed, right? Her plan includes more funding for the courts on the border that process asylum claims. And the reason that's a really good thing is because it expedites how long that takes. Right now it takes like 8 to 9 years, right? With the additional funding, and it will get it down to under 1 year, right? And when we can fix our legal systems and make them process migrants much faster, right, we will no longer see as many people coming into our country through undocumented means of entry, right? Because that will be disincentivized, right? There's also more funding going towards Border Patrol, right, to pick up on more of the drugs coming across our border or the sex trafficking, right? Not to mention it even included some funding for the border wall that Donald Trump only built 2% of, right? And like, the reason that is better than Donald Trump's approach is because Donald Trump doesn't really have one. He, like a lot of Republicans in the last 30 years, have just kind of campaigned on like mass deportation that no one's ever done, including him under his first term, and getting them all out of the cities and demonizing these people, treating them as if they're like super bad. Like, just ask yourself, like, can you name any specific qualities of Donald Trump's proposed border policy? Or when you think about that in your head, does it only go insofar as like him saying that undocumented migrants are terrible and we need to get them all out of the country?
Well, this will stop my asking questions phase and like debating starting. Like, you can't say that illegal migrants have not caused any crime. So,
but what we can say,
what's wrong with deporting illegal migrants?
So, well, what we can say is they're less likely to commit violent crimes than U.S. citizens. And then secondly, right, I find there to be nothing wrong with the deportation of undocumented migrants who are violent, right? For those that aren't violent, I think we should offer them pathways to residency or citizenship because they add to our country's economy, But
100%.
I think the main point that I was trying to get at there is that the mass deportation plan is not practical and it's physically impossible. Ask yourself why this is also something that Bush was campaigning on, but never
If you were
did.
in the country illegally, I believe that you should be able to apply to have a legal asylum. And if you have any criminal history from any country you've ever lived in, you should immediately be deported.
Yeah, I'd say that same thing, but for like violent criminal history, 110%.
I wouldn't even just say violent criminal history. We want the best for America. We're not obligated to open our borders to just anyone, and we shouldn't feel that we have to. If you're a good, hardworking person, like I believe there should be an easier pathway to like becoming a legal U.S. citizen.
What's Trump's plan to making the legal processes of migration into our country easier?
I have no idea.
He doesn't have one. He doesn't have one. He doesn't have one. So where we stand from today, I'm just trying to break it down.
What is Kamala's plan, though?
Right, to expedite the asylum-seeking claims on the border, right,
But
to reduce it from 7 to 8 years to under a year, and to further fund the border to provide for more legal ports of entry and to further disincentivize undocumented
Their
migration into our
plan
country.
is going to allow people we don't want in, though.
Like who?
Like, if you have a criminal record, but it's not particularly violent, you can still have a way into the country. That's,
Okay. So you're saying that you don't like migrants coming into our country with any criminal record.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
I'm 31 years old.
I don't. So like, yeah, I disagree with that. Like
follow the laws,
for instance, like we have people that will come into our country through means of like tourism, right, with nonviolent criminal records, and we know that the migrants that are in our country are actually significantly less likely to commit any crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens. And we know that they actively provide to our economy, and they're a functioning member of a growing of our growing GDP and a reduction on the individualistic tax burden, because the more people we have here, the less we individualistically
where
have
do
to
you
chip
get
in.
your statistics from saying immigrants are less likely to commit violent crimes than natural-born citizens?
I believe that's CMAS. I'll verify that for you right now.
Like, and I may be wrong. I'm not trying to like be argumentative or anything, but
Yeah, no, we were good. Carly, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. And Lauren, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Everyone, W. Lauren's in that chat. Lily, thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for that. That's fucking insane. Everyone, right now, W. Lilies, that is Lili. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. That is literally insane. Thank you. Darla, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. And go Kamala. Let's fucking go. Thank you so much, Darla and Lily. And Justin, thank you for the $5, and another Justin with the $5 as well. You guys are great. I have a couple more Venmos to read off here, then I would love to grab you that source and continue our conversation. I just want to make sure that I do thank everyone. And Christina, thank you for the $1. Yeah, sure, let me get you that source right now. U.S. citizen versus crime rates. Yeah, so you could find this on the National Institute of Justice.gov. Just look up NIJ, undocumented migrants offending rates lower than U.S.-born citizen rates. That is a government source from our NIJ. Secondarily, here's a thought that I wanted to bring up for you. I disagree with you on the basis that just because someone has a non-violent criminal record, that they should be able to enter into our country. But I don't believe that I'm going to be able to change your mind, because I bet that's pretty foundational to you. So here's what I would say.
I wouldn't say it's foundational to me.
Here's what I would say, right? So, like, because Trump doesn't have a plan, right, to renew and expedite our legal, systems of people entering into our country, right, migrants will be further incentivized to enter into our country through undocumented means, right? So, I mean, what do you prefer, right? Like, some restriction and vetting of people coming into our country, or more incentivization for unrestricted, non-vetted entries into our country?
My whole point is, if we have millions and millions of people wanting to come to America every year, why wouldn't we pick out the best ones that could help us, help our country? America First isn't a bad ideology. Like
because like right, I don't believe that we could play God and determine who gets a better life and who doesn't when all things considered, right? They have lower offending rates than natural born U.S. citizens, and they actually provide further into our economy and into our GDP.
Well, exactly. To my point, if they're going to provide further into our economy and GDP, we should be able to filter out the ones that are going to hurt us or the ones that are going to provide to our economy and GDP. Why wouldn't we do that? Why doesn't that make more sense? Why would we just let anyone in? Like, I feel bad for them. It sucks that they have that life, but why would we just let anyone in?
I mean, using your logic, why don't we also just do this with like U.S. born citizens?
Because they were born in the United States.
I mean, who cares, right? What if we were to redraft the Constitution, right? Legislation where if you are born in the United States, or if you like fall below a particular like income threshold, right, you are deported to another country.
What is law and what is underneath the Constitution right now is we have the freedoms and liberties. If you were born in the United States under the Constitution, you have that. So why would we welcome people that are not going to benefit the United States into the United States?
Because I would say that America is about promoting opportunity for all and giving incentive to build in our economy. And I don't think that any one person is incapable of that. And with the right social with the right social systems, right, we could see everyone in America, right, achieving those ends. I believe that there will always be inefficiencies in an economy, whether that be a constant rate of inflation, a constant rate of unemployment, or a constant rate of a small amount of people who are genuinely lazy and don't want to work, right? But it's unrealistic for you to say that we need to pick those people out and destroy their livelihood and send them to other countries where they could die because they don't have a job, instead of being reliant upon social systems that we intend for them, as well as other Americans, to reduce things such as like childhood poverty and to provide more economic mobility for all members of our economy. And then secondarily, like, once again, your claim here is that we should just be picking and choosing the people that are best fit to provide to our economy. Well, I mean, how about we just build better social systems to make more people fit to provide to our economy? But the overwhelming fact is that on the macro scale, we see that migrants coming into our country do, right, reduce the tax burden of the average U.S. citizen and do provide trillions of dollars to our GDP with the systems that exist today.
Better social systems would require more government employees to run those, would require more government taxpayer money, which would require more tax from poor people like me that I pay $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I'm barely scraping by, homie. I can't pay more in taxes. Like, why would someone like me want to give more money to the government that just sends shit to Israel or fucking Ukraine?
Well, actually, so I mean, less than 2% of our federal budget goes to other countries. The reason we're sending money to Ukraine is because of the Budapest Memorandum, and Trump is advocating for more funding to Israel than Kamala Harris. Alexander, thank you for the galaxy. And then second of all, right, I say if we want to increase taxes to provide better social safety nets, we do that on the wealthy. And with the intention of these social safety nets is to increase economic mobility, meaning more people could get more wealthy, right? So then with, right, like that more, like with like the increase in ability for people to gain wealth due to these social safety nets, like we could say that that would justify a higher tax burden as a whole.
I don't think anyone needs.
And no, that's not flawed fucking logic. That's like actually what we see in countries with better social safety nets is higher levels of economic mobility. You could reference any country in the
What's
Nordic
wrong
region.
with just you're your own person? You're responsible for yourself. You work your ass off and get to where you want to go.
Jamie, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal, saying that Trump is a criminal. That's a good point. We're actually going to bring that up next. What's wrong with like providing no social safety nets?
Yes.
Okay. Never call the cops, the fire departments, or use public roads again, bitch.
I thought like social safety nets meant like food stamps and shit like that.
Those are food stamps. That is a form of a social safety nets, just like the cops, the firefighters, or public roads.
Well, I would disagree with like food stamps or taxpayer money going to people who don't want to work. but cops and first responders and stuff like that.
Oh God, you need to man the fuck up, go to the gym, get some bigger biceps, buy a couple pew-pews, train yourself, and if any harm ever comes your way, deal with that yourself. I can't believe that you're relying on these social safety nets. You're basically a communist if you think that you should have the ability to call someone else to come and save your life because you can't.
Well, that's a completely different argument.
No, I mean, you're saying that people don't want to work, so they're on food stamps. Well, you don't want to defend yourself, so you're relying on the cops. Get a load of this lazy
I've
man.
literally never called the cops, and if someone broke into my place, they would not be living in the next 30 seconds.
No, now you're actually arguing that you wouldn't call the cops. That's not what I intended.
I never said I was going to call the cops.
Oh my God. Yeah. Also, I don't think that poor people should starve. Not everyone is below. Not everyone that's like on food stamps that lives below that poverty line, right, is on there because they don't want to work. Like for instance, growing up, right, like my family was on food stamps and Social Security, and that's because my mom was like a drug addict that had fallen into addiction problems from prescribed O drugs from a back treatment, right? And then that also rebounded on like me and my sister, right? Because we lived under her roof. Right. So I guess what I'd say here is, well, if it is the case that we didn't have those social safety nets for that provided social security and food stamps to me and my mom and my family. Right. Well, I probably want to be here today. Right.
I mean, I would even go as far as saying, even if we're going to have those social safety nets, excluding first responders, but with food stamps or Section 8 housing or anything like that, you should be able to pass a drug test or something like that. Why are we giving out money that hard?
I don't think that would result down into the best outcomes empirically speaking, because if we say that the criteria for getting these particular social benefits, right, is passing a drug test, well, I mean, what is that going to do for those that are on drugs that do want to better their life and work in a positive direction? A lot of a good reason that people, well, not a good reason, but a reason that people typically would have to explain their use of drugs, right, has to do with devastations in their quality of life. And when you deny all social safety nets to drug users, I mean, what is that going to do for them, right? That's just going to put them in a worse off scenario where they're even more likely to abuse drugs and regress in a negative direction, right? So this idea of removing social safety nets for members that people that fall below the poverty belt, and not offering incentives to help people increase their quality of life, to reduce their reliance on things such as drugs to work in a positive direction, is we have worse outcomes in in a quantitative sense, in the GDP per capita or the GDP as a whole, or levels of economic mobility. Right, it's really important to provide these social safety nets, not just for the single mother of three that's reliant on the food stamps to feed her three kids, but also for the country as a whole.
So what you're saying is, if people make personal decisions, are completely 100%, they could just choose not to do it. They choose to screw their life over. All of the other Americans that make good decisions have to pay for it.
Yeah, we're going to take 3 cents out of your paycheck so their children can eat food. Yeah.
Well, that's
right. And then also taking the 3 cents out of your taking the 3 cents out of your paycheck there. I mean, what does that do? It just creates better benefits, so they're more likely to scale in our economy. Thank you so much for the $2 on Venmo.
We already pay government services to take children away from families that shouldn't have kids.
I'm going to repeat this one last time because it's so simple. The conditions that you're describing, you wish people below the poverty belt were in right now, right? Well, you understand that these conditions will only further make more people live in those the conditions that you're describing will only make those people worse off and less likely to scale and to provide into our economy, right? Impacting you.
Drew, because you made those videos, society needs like reparations from that. We all had to watch that. That's fucking weird, bro.
What?
That's so. What
Videos
is?
you
I can
watching?
smell through the phone. I can smell it through the phone.
You're talking about my farting videos.
What the fuck?
Dude, he literally made videos of him farting, bro. I'm not trolling. That's the only part of the video. That's all the video's about. Okay, you owe society, okay?
That's funny.
I had to watch that. Why do you have that on the internet, Drew?
How is farting not funny? Like,
dude, how'd you go on a platform of 8.6 thousand people and you just like, you're not embarrassed right now?
I'm not embarrassed.
You posted that on a public platform. What, dude? I'm sorry. Are you 12?
Farting videos. I have no shame about it.
Are you 12, bro?
I'll post more. No, I'm 31.
Jeez, dude. That's like a video that I would post when I was like fucking 11 years old, dude. Playing Clash of Clans.
Are you serious right now?
I'm serious, bro. Like
farting videos.
Yeah, dude. What was that, man? And you're talking about taking stuff away from children? What are you talking about?
Bro, did I really just like have like or like try to like inform this voter that's like voting today and have like an intellectual discussion with like this guy that's posting fucking videos, dude? I'm gonna quit the streams. Alec, thank you so much for the $1 PayPal. I'm done. I'm done with the streams. I just need to like stick right to like debating like the more credible conservatives. Like you're just like fuck, dude.
I wouldn't even call myself a conservative. I've voted Democrat before. I've voted Republican before. I just usually vote for who I think will better the country more. And I came at you with more questions than I did arguments. And I didn't mean to be disrespectful if I came off as disrespectful, but
no, we're good.
This other
Parker,
dude,
I mean, like you kind of are going on a public platform arguing that like you want to get rid of like food stamps, right? Which I think is fucked up because like we're talking about like such a small portion of our budget. Like if you want to talk about cutting expenditures in our federal government, you should be focusing on like things like military, right? You shouldn't be hyper fixating on like whether or not like children have food. Like I think that's just such an insane thing to look at when you look at our overall federal budget and how much that makes up of your federal budget.
You are mischaracterizing my argument. Never said anything about taking away food from children. I said taking away food stamps, but I also said that people that can't provide for their children shouldn't have it.
With $5 on Venmo.
Yeah, why don't we just create a society that like allows for people to be able to take care of their children and then ensures that all children are taken care of, rather than a society that doesn't care about children, instead cares about like literally like sending literally spending hundreds of billions of dollars on the military. Like talk about that. Food stamps is such a small portion of our budget, and yes, food stamps are used for children. You understand that?
Let's take that same logic. Right? Let's take that same logic but why are we sending all this money to Ukraine? Why are we sending all this money to Israel? Why are we sending this money out of the country when it could be used inside of the country?
You guys wouldn't even spend the money here in the country. And I'm sorry, are we going to use the 70% of money that went to Ukraine that was weapons and equipment on feeding children? You think the guns are going to feed the children? They're literal guns. How is that going to feed a child? You need to talk about how this spending was allocated in the very first place for you to be able to critique things like that in terms of Ukraine. Because you guys aren't advocating for spending money on children in this country. You guys aren't advocating for healthcare policy, for childcare policy. You're not advocating for
my man. Like I've voted for both parties. Like why are you coming at me like I'm a hardcore conservative?
You're like on the live arguing you're going to vote for Trump. I'm talking about the Republican Party. If you actually
I'm not arguing I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm asking advice of who I should vote for today.
Oh, okay. So you're not arguing you're going to vote for Trump? Everyone who comes up here is voting for Trump.
Hey, are you free for like 30
Trump.
seconds to cover me while I go pee real quick, Parker?
Yeah. Just do it real quick.
You're great.
Yeah. So what do you mean, Drew?
I don't understand like why I can't have like a conversation with either side. Like I even gone on lives with like hardcore Trumpers, conservative people, and they come at me the same way. Like I have my own ideals, my own opinions, and I'm trying to figure out.
You have to acknowledge the space that you just came into. You came into a space that says, I'm voting for Kamala 2024. Why are you voting for Trump, right? We're talking to people who typically like debate. So I had the impression that you were on the live voting for Trump,
Yeah,
right?
like I'm leaning toward
And
Trump right
reconsidering
now.
it.
And I'm trying to reconsider it. Like, I'm going to vote in like 2 hours.
What gets you leaning towards Trump at
an
all?
hour. Excuse me?
What gets you leaning towards Trump at all?
A, the border policy. B, the tax cuts he is proposing. He's proposing to eliminate the income tax and compensate for that with tariffs. Which
Yeah, that's so what you're going to do is you're going to take a progressive tax model and then you're going to shift it into a regressive tax model that negatively impacts lower income individuals and middle class people. I don't understand how one you'd even be able to replace that because that's not going to pay for all the federal expenditures. So you're also going to have to cut spending along with increasing taxes on poor people. So you're just going to double whammy negatively impact poor people.
How would increasing tariffs and eliminating income tax?
Yeah, because income tax is progressive, right? Tariffs are regressive.
My question, man. Like,
Look,
let's just chill.
I'm answering the question right now. Would you like to let me finish?
You didn't let me finish. Like,
you just asked me a question.
I was trying to. You didn't let me finish my question.
Okay, what was the rest of the question? I thought you fully finished the question.
I was saying, how would increasing tariffs and eliminating the income tax make it more expensive for me as an American?
Yeah, because tariffs increase the price of consumer products coming into the country, like imported goods. So it causes not only imported goods, but also domestic goods to be more expensive.
Not if his plan works. If his plan works, then more.
What? That makes no sense. What do you mean? Not if his plan works? What? Do you know what a tariff is?
I understand. Could you let me explain? I work with tariffs, and in my career, I work with tariffs all the time. I fully understand how tariff works. If I could get a couple sentences across without being interrupted, I'd appreciate it. So how his plan would work is if he increases them significantly, it would bring more manufacturing, more goods made in the U.S. So we would pay less on those goods if they're made from the U.S.
No. So if you have an idea that prices are going to go down because of tariffs, I'm sorry, but you don't understand this. Tariffs will undoubtedly cause the prices to go up because it reduces the available supply to American consumers because it cuts off how much goods are coming from countries around the world. So it will not cause stuff to be less expensive here in the United States. It will cause it to be more expensive here in the United States. That's the only way it would incentivize more goods.
Completely ignored my point.
Please finish. Please finish.
Completely ignored my point.
I didn't ignore your point. I'm actually addressing your point right now. So the only way that it would actually increase production of goods in the United States is if the prices for the goods in the United States increased, because there would be a greater incentive due to the extra profit that they could get from it, because there's less competition, which means that the price would go up. So the only way you could say that there was an increase in domestic production is if prices were to have gone up, which is what you don't understand here. I have a degree in economics. I understand tariffs very well. I'm surprised that someone who engages with tariffs on a daily basis doesn't know that this is the fundamental basis of how a tariff operates.
Again, let me try to dumb it down for you. If companies outside U.S. are too expensive to sell to one of the world's greatest economies, their best moneymakers, they would then be incentivized to then create production facilities in United States, therefore cheaper. Is that simple enough?
Drew, there's no way you didn't listen to what I just said. The only way that it would cause a greater increase in production in the United States is if goods went up in price in the United States, therefore incentivize suppliers to produce in the United States. Okay? So it would mean it's not cheaper, it would mean it's more expensive. Drew, you don't understand how tariffs operate.
That is just not correct, man.
Drew, every economist disagrees with you. There's not one economist that you'd be able to cite.
If you manufacture in the United States, you don't have to pay tariffs, correct?
Yes.
Is the United States one of the most powerful economies in the world, correct?
Yes.
Why wouldn't making companies that import goods that we could make here exponentially expensive enough so that they have to move manufacturing facilities here good for our economy.
Yeah,
How does that
yeah. It means that there's going to be less supply of goods available to U.S. citizens because it is the case that there's a higher price for other companies to operate in selling their goods here because their goods are more expensive in the United States, right? Consumers in the United States are less incentivized to buy those goods because they're more expensive. I.e., the goods for the average American go up in price and are more expensive overall because it creates a greater demand for domestic goods, right? Which also causes the domestic goods to go up in price.
But if there's a greater demand for domestic goods, then there's a greater demand for the job market. There's a greater demand for people to manufacture, make their own.
Yeah, but that also means price goes up given the same supply.
Which means more jobs. Like, I'm not understanding this logic.
Yeah, no, what you're not understanding in terms of it wouldn't actually create more jobs overall because it is the case that it decreases the size of the economy. And if it decreases the size of the economy and the GDP, that decreases the efficiency of trade and our ability to create and manufacture jobs continually in the future.
I feel like that's more of a personal opinion than a fact.
That's not a personal opinion. That's the effect of economic policy as it relates to tariffs. You can look in my bio. There's a link tree in my bio where economists project particularly what the effect is of these particular types of tariffs that Trump wants to do, which shows it will decrease the size of the economy.
I disagree with you, but I apologize if
No, that's your opinion, right? What I'm citing is studies, estimations from economists, people that know what you're talking about, know what they're talking about. You are just deciding to not believe the economists because you feel like you know more than them.
No, I've also there's economists that have the opinion that I'm stating, which is where I'm getting my information from.
Name one.
And there's economists from what you're stating. Like,
name one economist that agrees with you.
So if you want to,
I can name a right-wing economist that agrees with me.
I can name a left-wing economist that agrees with me.
Okay, name one.
Let me Google it real quick. Google is a powerful tool. Like, you can find opinions on both sides. Like,
yeah, I'm waiting. Go for it. I'm serious. Go look it up. You're not going to be able to find it. Like I'll even cite Milton Friedman. Literally, Austrian economics disagrees with you. Okay. Wasn't he coming on the live like arguing free market? Dean?
Yeah. Is he now? Wait, that's right. Yeah, he came up here. Pro-libertarian, taxes bad, free market creates the best outcomes. But now guess what? This unnecessary regulation on the market that creates the drastic inefficiencies is exactly what we need. What's up with these fucking like pseudo like
pro-libertarian and pro-tariffs is crazy. Dude, that's so crazy. Wait, if the person said Milton Friedman show that's wrong? No, Milton Friedman is against tariffs. What are you talking about? Milton Friedman, free to choose? Like, bro, he's super against tariffs.
Oh, I know. No, because like that's like a consistent libertarian. You know what I mean? Like libertarian in academia is so different than what these shitheads preach. By the way, Drewby, we can't hear you when you're paused. Bro, dude, Yahoo News just released an article about me.
Oh, he's looking up one economist that agrees with him.
Yahoo News just released a whole article about me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Investopedia and Brookings.com both have articles of.
No, I'm asking one economist.
Well, I'm sure the economists that post that.
Like, name one economist. I'm waiting. Just go find the economist's name. Drew, I'll wait. I will wait, Drew.
Okay, man.
I have got all day, Drew. I've got all day to wait for you to find this one economist that agrees with tariffs.
Yeah, honestly, we're just kind of hanging out here. If anyone wants to find that article...
Universal tariffs, by the way. Not just like one tariff. Universal tariffs.
If anyone wants to find that article, guys, just look up Dean Withers Yahoo. I also think I have...
Look that up right after this. That's sick as fuck.
Yeah, I have another one coming out on GQ here soon as well.
Dude, why are they fucking doing that? What the hell?
Dude, I have no clue. I've just been getting these emails, and then I've been like deciphering the ones from like awesome media sources because I feel like I need those because I want to get verified, and that's like what you need to get verified, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. Should I try doing the Jubilee videos as my media?
If you could apply more than once, it's worth it. Vox also did one about me, but they didn't put like my name in like the article title or anything. This is like the first big one. Mason, thank you for the $3 on Venmo asking me if I listened to Tyler's new album. Yes, the fuck I did, and it was great. Let's see here. Jamie, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Kirsten and Brandon with a $5 each. Claire and Samantha with a $2 each. Brian with a $1. Tia with a $2. Catherine with a $5. Lauren with a $10. Thank you guys so much for the love on Venmo. You guys have been
All right, I'm not
phenomenal.
afraid to say when I was wrong. All I found was articles with news authors. They were not actual economists.
So you still have yet to find one economist that agrees with you?
James, thank you for the
literally
$20
just
on
said
PayPal.
that.
I appreciate you. W. James.
You were right. I apologize if I came at you combatively. Like, I mainly am just throwing my viewpoints out there and trying to decide which side agrees with my viewpoints more. And I was wrong on that point of view. But I have yet to be.
That's fine. I appreciate that.
Like, and I think we both sides should be able to have like a civil conversation and be able to disagree about things, like disagreeing about border control and stuff like that.
So will you vote Harris?
Still leaning toward Trump, but
boo. Okay. Yeah. So
what
remember,
leans you towards Trump?
Excuse me.
You answer Barker's question.
What leans you towards Trump? And then I'm gonna get off and I'll join here in a few minutes. Soon.
Bet.
I could barely hear the other dude.
Oh, here. I'll just ask you. What leans you towards Trump?
Mainly the border policies and.
See you soon, Parker.
From like what I like, if both parties are going to lie to you, you're going to.
Okay. Yeah. Earlier you talked about the border. You're like, oh, the criminals. They shouldn't be able to come into our country. It doesn't matter what they are. It doesn't matter what the crimes were for. So if you don't think that someone from Mexico with a criminal history should be able to come into our country, how come you think Trump from New York with a criminal history should be allowed to run the country?
Well, his criminal history, from what I understand, is currently being debated. And
nope, he has been sentenced guilty of 34 felonies. That's right.
Well, no, he.
You can't tell me I'm wrong. No, he was.
Just because someone's sentenced doesn't mean that, like, I forget the word for it, but like he went back. He went back to court, and now the court of, I think it's 5 judges, are debating on whether or not subpoenaing the people that brought the charges to him because they're such bullshit.
What were the charges? God, no. Have you ever watched the TV show called The Boys before?
I love that show.
Okay. So you have watched The Boys.
Yeah,
so
fantastic show.
Like I haven't gotten on season 4 yet, so no spoilers. But and at the end of season 3, what I'm seeing right now is Homelander, right, talking about how all of these claims made about him are all false and are all wrong, and how everyone is lying, and how he's being politically persecuted, and that. How did you feel about Homelander doing that in that TV show?
Well, you're basing fiction off of reality. You can't really do that.
Well, the creators of the Boys did. So the creators of the Boys are incredibly left leaning. In fact, you could even go to like Vought International's like official Twitter account, and it is literally them making fun of Trump. Homelander is based on Trump. And the reason I wanted to bring this up here is because it literally is real fucking life. You just told me in like 2 sentences how the criminal court that convicted him of 34 felonies is all bullshit and this and that and the other, and they're all fake and they're gonna get appealed, and the prosecutors were so bad and so pity poor. But then all I did is I asked you like
the
what
Court
he
of
was
Appeals
prosecuted from.
Yeah,
they're trying to appeal the case, as they will always do. If you can name the grounds that they have to appeal, I'll give your argument credence. But when you just kind of parrot those points when not even knowing what he was convicted of, it's embarrassing.
So he was convicted of defrauding a bank, which he didn't do.
That would be the civil suit for fraud. No, I'm talking about the criminal suit for 34 felonies.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I thought that was all-encompassing.
No. So there was a civil suit in New York for sexual abuse. There's a civil suit in New York for fraud. There was a criminal case in New York for the 34 felonies, and then there's a civil suit in Florida for missing documents. The civil suit in New York about fraud is the one that's currently being appealed. The civil suit about sexual abuse, that's stuck. He hasn't appealed that. The criminal suit about the 34 felonies, he's been found guilty and he's getting sentenced next month. And then the civil suit about the missing documents, a judge ruled in Florida that he should be immune from proceedings. But what I was asking you about was the 34 felonies, because you're like, if someone's from Mexico, they can't come into our country with a felony. But if someone's from New York, they could run our country with 34.
I agree with that point. You are correct on that point. I don't think someone that is proven guilty of 34 felonies should run our country.
And does that make you like not want to vote for Trump? Because he was found guilty of 34 felonies.
I agree with that. Two more questions and I'll stop wasting your time. One, what is the most severe felony that Trump has been convicted of?
The most severe felony is falsification of business records with an intent to sway the outcome of an election. But I'd say the most severe thing that he's been found guilty by a court to have done was rape.
He is convicted of rape?
He was held civilly liable for it.
Of raping someone?
Yes. And we got to say we got to say grape.
Oh,
I just
grape.
wanted to say it like
I
just wanted to say it like that one time, because sometimes I just you like, I don't know, like having to censor that word. I don't like it because I want that word to communicate the full intention of what it entails, and like calling it grape without the G does that perfectly. But yes,
I agree with that as well. My other question is, what do you think is the best thing Kamala Harris could do for our country?
Reinstitute federal protections for every woman and girl's right to choose, and institute a tax policy that will make the average American significantly better off than they are now, or how they would be under Trump's plan. And of course, unification.
But some of that is opinion and personal ethics-based policy.
I mean, well, yeah, that's when we start debating. Like, it's always going to be given my perspective.
Well, you can't
like,
really...
you go ask Nick Fuentes like what the best thing Trump could do for America would be. It would be like racism and homophobia.
Well, you can't really debate like personal opinion and personal ethics policy.
Yeah, you can. They do it all the time.
Because no one person is going to believe the same thing. This is the last thing I'll say, then I'll get off and I'll stop.
Wait. If you think that everyone has a different perspective, everything's personal, and no one will agree, well, then shouldn't you just like say that it should be up to the individual woman? And like, we shouldn't say that like everything's personal, everyone thinks differently, but we should just let like this one group of people in Congress that all think the same decide for everyone else?
That's not what I'm saying either. That's why I believe in states' rights. I think states should have more leeway than federal law. I think state law should mean more. So you could move to a country or a state or a certain location that agrees to you more specifically.
So do you agree with like states' rights because it makes it more individualistic to the people living in the states?
Yes, I 100% agree with that.
Okay, logically speaking, do you think you'd follow that you'd be more in agreement with leaving it up to like each district or county because it's even more hyper-specific and individual?
I would agree with that as well.
What about county to city?
Sure.
City that. But see what follows here. We send it from city to household to woman. You know, if we want to make it as individualistic as possible, but the most power in the hands of the people, you give it to each individual woman.
I'm know this is going to be an unpopular opinion here, but I'm a Christian. I fully believe that the second that conception happens, that's a human being.
Yeah, but dude, that actually surprisingly doesn't fucking matter because you already fell into like the logical trap, and I just want to see what your out is here. So you said federal government to state because more individualistic power in the hands of the people, and then you agreed state to county because state to district because more individualistic power in the hands of the people, and then you agreed district to county because more individualistic power in the hands of the people, and then you agreed county to city because more individualistic power in the hands of the people. So why don't you agree with city to woman because more individualistic power in the hands of the people? It's like you're agreeing with every single step along the way except for the last one, And I just want to know why.
No, I'm saying, like, why can't I go live in a county that agrees, that has laws that follow what I believe in? Like,
But what I'm saying is, like, you could just make it more individualistic than at the county level by sending it back to each household, and then you could make it more individualistic than the
Because
household level by sending it back to each individual woman.
For example, look at Texas versus California. Let's start there. Like, abortion is, except for emergency conditions, is outlawed in Texas pretty
It's
much.
actually not even allowed for emergency conditions like rape, but, you know, go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't say grape is a emergency condition. Like, it sucks that happened, but because something bad happens doesn't mean you get to murder another human life. Two wrongs don't make it right.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Cassidy, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Remember earlier when you were shitting on social safety nets, how come you think that a 12-year-old has more obligation to provide to the great baby growing in her uterus than our country has to provide for the homeless people living on our streets?
Say that question again? You were breaking up on my end.
I mean, the argument that you're giving me is like 12-year-old girls that get raped are obligated to provide for the needs of the fetus growing in their uterus, you know, because if they don't, they die. Well, I mean, the government is obligated to provide to the needs of all the homeless people on the streets with, you know, a UBI, free food, free water, free housing, because if they don't, they die.
If an abortion is going to be a medically needed, like...
No, we're talking about great, bro. You're saying that literally fucking 12-year-old girls have more responsibility to provide for those in need around them than you and our fucking federal government do. Because earlier you were shitting on all of those social safety nets, saying no food stamps, no reducing childhood poverty through the childhood tax credit, like no UBI, right? No food, no housing, no water, none of that. Delete them all, get rid of them all, right? The federal government has no obligation to provide for those in need that could die if they don't give them that care. But a 12-year-old girl all of a sudden has to provide like a lifelong of trauma and 9 months of suffering and pain and a lack of understanding for the uterus and or for the fetus in her uterus, just because if she doesn't provide for its needs, it'll die. Like, you know, I don't know. But like we could also just bring up the issues with why the 12-year-old girl would be obligated at all, you know? By the way, I can't hear you when you're on pause. Like, for instance, I just want everyone to go ahead and respond to that.
Murder is bad?
Yeah, murder is bad, man.
So wouldn't killing that unborn child be murder?
No, not at all. If I was a vampire and I really needed some human blood and I were to walk up to you and start sucking on your neck and I tell you if you kick me off of you, I'll die, and then you do kick me off of you, are you a murderer?
That's a completely different argument.
What's different? I mean, in one scenario, a 12-year-old girl is forcefully connected to a fetus without her consent, and she's told if she removes and evicts the fetus that is existing in her uterus without her consent, that the fetus will die and that makes her a murderer. Well, if you remove and evict me from sucking on your neck to steal your blood for 9 months, you're a senseless murderer.
For you to make your argument make sense, vampires have to be real. That's the difference.
Well, we could like use analogies with like shit that's not real to prove conceptual like points. And I think this one's a good one.
That is not a good argument at all. Like, you can't use a fantasy creature as
we totally can. It's because it's what it makes sense hypothetically. Tracy, thank you so much for thank you for the $20 on Venmo, Tracy. Everyone, W Tracy's in the chat. Thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate that. Massive W Tracy's in the chat. Thank you so much. And the reason that we don't need to like track reality with things that actually exist in hypotheticals is because like a vampire sucking on your neck can exist conceptually in your brain, right? And you could conceive of the implications of what you would or wouldn't do in that scenario, even though vampires don't actually exist. But I mean, I guess like I could replace the vampire with something that could possibly exist. Okay, right? Like
let's do that.
So yeah,
let's live in reality.
I mean, just seemingly like you just don't really like have like any understanding of like conceptual argumentation. I'd say like one of the main things, Ken, I thank you for the $5 on Venmo, And James, thank you for the $10 on Venmo as well. Everyone, W. James, thank you so much. You're phenomenal.
I wouldn't say I don't live in conceptual reality. I
God,
live in
what do you think the Socratic method is, dude? What do you think people like Socrates and Plato and like all academics, right, relegated to dedicating their lives to like moral and ethical philosophy over the course of the last 4,000 years have done? Like, you understand that like these conceptual analogies of going over things that don't exist in the real world, but like exist in like this conceptual realm, right? It's not just Dean being a dumbass on the internet. Like, this is like actually how we like test our thought processes in academia. But I mean, I guess like I'll just give you another one nonetheless.
I don't think it makes much sense to do that if it doesn't actually correlate with the real life.
Why?
Like,
because we can make it logically correlates to real life, and that's what matters.
yeah, but
Like, so you admit that there's a logical correlation.
if you include fantasy world into real life, then it does.
Wait, Drew, if I slapped you in your face right now, would your face hurt?
Probably.
Oh God, you fucking delusional fantasy freak. I couldn't slap you in your
Completely
face
different.
right now. I would have to
Completely
I
different.
would have to teleport almost instantaneously to whatever your location is, and I'd have
Okay.
to have on the go and immediate all-knowing
Bro.
powers to know exactly where you live.
Bro.
You just say, "Oh my God,
No.
you freak, you fantasy freak." That could never happen in reality. You
Can I
live in
say
a
something?
fantasy world of bullshit, make-believe nonsense.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Me being slapped in the face by you or anyone is a real life thing that could happen. A vampire sucking on someone's neck cannot happen.
It doesn't matter.
It does. One's real life, one's make believe.
Okay, so why are you laughing as if you're right?
Because I am.
Okay, then do you just credit all of Socrates' work?
If he's in the land of make believe, then yes.
What is a hypothetical scenario?
A hypothetical scenario and a scientific or not scientific fantasy analogy is completely
Wait,
different.
one sec. Are you an atheist?
No,
Okay, what's your religion?
I'm a Christian.
Okay, so if Christianity were to be false and Islam were to be true, would you be a Muslim? If Prophet Muhammad was accurate with his descriptions in the Quran, like, would you be a Muslim?
That's an extreme hypothetical.
No, it's not at all. Just like if Christianity was false and Islam was true, would you be Muslim?
If there were anything backing that, then maybe, but I believe
No, dude. See, this is the issue. This is why you didn't understand like the analogy I gave you. It's because you can't abstractly think. Like, it's literally it's such an easy conditional. If Christianity was false and Islam was true, would you be a Muslim?
Yeah, but you can say that's the same thing for anything else.
Yeah, you could
If
literally say it
Trump
about
was right and Kamala was wrong.
Yes.
would you believe in Donald Trump?
Yes. You could ask me if Trump was a better candidate than Kamala Harris, would I vote for Trump? Yes, I would. Okay, so just if Christianity was false and Islam was true, would you be a Muslim?
This goes back to my point
Carly,
of
thank you for the $2
personal choice.
Dude, just answer my goddamn question, please.
I just answered your question. It goes back to the point of personal choice.
No, I said yes or a no. I asked you if you'd be a Muslim. Which one is it?
You can keep changing the question. Of,
bro, answer my damn question. You're pissing me
blue
off.
and if blue was red,
Bro,
would
you're
you
pissing me off.
believe green is blue? Like,
Bro, you're pissing me the fuck off. If
Because
Christianity
you're
was
not-
false and Islam was true, would you be a Muslim?
I'm not going to answer that question, man.
Why?
I'm going to be a Christian because that's the one true God.
Jesus Christ. If you knew Christianity was false and that no God existed, would you be an atheist?
If I believe that, then yeah.
Okay.
But I
you're
believe.
Okay, perfect. So you're saying that if God didn't exist, you wouldn't believe in Christianity, right? But in accordance with your own worldview, right, you believe that the Christian God exists, right? And a reality where the Christian God doesn't exist is
Not
just
the Christian God, the only God.
Okay, you're fucking insufferable. Leave. I'm done. You can't have these abstract conversations. Like, you understand that a big part of these conversations is
You're
just about
bringing-
being able to logically explore, right, the things that we're talking about and their logical implications. All right? I'm not just fucking crediting your belief in Christianity. I'm not here to debate you about that. I'm here to debate you about the logical implications to engage in critical thought, right? And when I'm like trying to wrap in an analogy to demonstrate, right, how you just engage in a hypothetical where the Christian God didn't exist by saying that you would be an atheist, and this is logically synonymous to you engaging in a hypothetical about a vampire sucking the blood out of your neck because in accordance with your own worldview, you believe that both the Christian God does exist and vampires don't, right? In comparison to the worldview where the Christian God doesn't exist and vampires do, like, your response is not to engage with any of those logical implications, but then to be really fucking facetious, to be really fucking annoying and to correct me by saying it's not the Christian God, he's the one true God. Like, use your fucking brain. It's like, why are some humans on this earth just so incapable of like legitimate discussion?
Why does me being a
Thank you
Christian...
so much for the galaxy. I appreciate that. Steven, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. W. Steve is in the chat. Thank you so much.
Why
What's
does
that?
me being a Christian irritate you so much?
No, the fact that you're a Christian doesn't irritate me at all. My family's Christian. It's fucking whatever. Okay. What irritates me, right, is that you cannot see the logical connection I'm making here. I asked you if Christianity was false, would you be an atheist? And you said yes, right? But that implied another version of reality where you think Christianity is false.
But again,
which is a make-believe fairy tale, but you
make-believe
still
fairy
engage
tale.
with a point.
Exactly.
So why will you engage with a point in that make-believe fairy tale?
Why can't we just make real reality points? Why can't we argue in reality instead of adding fairy tale? That's
because hypotheticals don't have a bound of reality. Hypotheticals only have a bound of what is logically possible and what can be the case to make logical connections. No, I'm not fucking incorrect. Dude, oh my god. No, I'm not incorrect. I'm not incorrect. Read a damn. I delegated 2 years of my goddamn life to over 60 goddamn credit hours of philosophy courses to get a degree in this shit.
I'm sorry
I've talked to the academics. Like,
I'm sorry.
I am an academic. I've written my own papers. I have like a combined, dude. Like, yes, I know that I'm actually crashing out. I'm actually crashing out because of how insane this shit is. It's not the fact that he's unaware of what I'm discussing. It's the fact that he's like sitting here ignoring what I'm saying and then like acting all like a pompous little fuck saying that I'm the stupid one. Oh my god, this is the closest I've been to crashing out in a long time. And the funny thing is, okay, this is the closest I've been to crashing out in a very, 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 very long time. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
I'm just saying, you can base hypotheticals
Justin, thank you for the
in
$5
reality,
on Venmo.
and you can base hypotheticals in fantasy. I'm
going to be honest. I'm going to be fucking honest, bro. You don't have an abstract thinking capability because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting here like a fucking toddler whining about logical connections that you can't see. But because you don't have that ability to abstractly think about, right, these hypothetical scenarios, I will happily give you a scenario that can engage with things that exist in reality just so I can communicate the point to you. Okay? So I'll now communicate the same point that I was trying to prior in a way that you will like seemingly understand. Like with your level 1 critical thought synonymous to that of my like fucking like 7-year-old nephew. Okay. So let's critically think, man. We'll give you the violinist example. So the violinist example goes as follows, right? There's this famous musician, right, who has a failing kidney, right? And in order for this musician's kidney to be saved, they need to be connected via an IV cord for 9 months to someone with the same blood type as them to filter a bunch of new blood through their kidney, right? Gotcha. You go to bed one night, you don't know this famous violinist, but then in the morning you wake up strapped down to a bed next to the violinist, connected to them via that IV, and you're told that they need your blood to filter through their veins for 9 months, and if you disconnect, they will die, okay? right? So would you say that you are a murderer if you disconnect from this violinist?
No.
Thank you. And the logical connection here would be a 10-year-old girl gets raped, right?
There's
and
no
then she
vampires or
shut the
fairies or
fuck up.
werewolves.
And the analogy here would be is that a 10-year-old girl gets raped and she wakes up in the morning learning that she's pregnant, and she's told that she has to supply her bodily resources to the fetus for 9 months without her consent. And if she disconnects from that fetus by evicting it out of her womb through an abortion, that the fetus will die. So is she doing anything wrong by disconnecting and aborting the fetus, or is she a murderer?
She is a murderer.
So what's the difference between the 12-year-old girl, right, getting an abortion and disconnecting from the fetus, and you disconnecting from the violinist?
One is a choice of murder. One is an uncontrollable circumstance.
No, so just like you were forced to be connected to that violinist in the bed and you chose to disconnect, the 12-year-old was forced to be pregnant and she chose to disconnect.
We're talking about some like Saw game type of, you're connected to a violinist, and if you disconnect, then you're going to die. Like,
yeah, no, if you disconnect, they're going to die. Both are uncontrollable. Well, you didn't consent to being in that situation in either scenario, and then you're choosing to disconnect.
In the main scenario, we have what's called blood infusions. So violinists could survive without being connected to another person. So again, we're going back.
Okay, so when we're operating in these in a hypothetical, right, you have to accept the confines of the hypothetical, and you already engaged in it, but now you can't think of a distinction. Like, holy shit.
Like, I don't understand, like, why you operate in the land of make-believe so hard. Hypotheticals can be realistic.
Bro, I'm gonna crash out, dude. Sophia, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. Bro's never had a critical thought in his life. Like, I want to see if you could follow like a really simple 2-point syllogism. Premise number 1, Socrates is a man. Premise number 2, all men are mortal. What do these two premises imply?
I mean, both are true.
Yeah, but what is the conclusion? If Socrates is a man and all men are mortal, what else do we know about Socrates?
Socrates is mortal.
Okay, you could follow 2-point fucking syllogism. Now leave. I'm not even gonna kick you. You don't have enough respect for me to kick you. I want you to leave embarrassed in front of everyone.
I'm not embarrassed.
Click the button goodbye.
You choose to live.
Magic. Thank you so much for the money gun. We will no longer be listening to anything that you have to say. Click the goodbye button.
Nope, won't do it. Gotta kick me, because you live in fantasy land. I live in reality.
You're gonna make my goddamn blood boil, but I'm going to choose the path of least resistance. We are going to be the bigger person, and we are going to move on. Glory, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal. You have too much patience. I'm at my wit's end right now. This is a hard one. This is a new experience for me to test my patience. But thank you for the $15, Gloria. You are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. This is like pushing on a boundary of my patience that I don't think even I knew existed. And thank you all so much for the $1 donation. Samantha, thank you for the $10 saying that he's insufferable. Audrey, thank you for the $2. Oh my God, I need a second just to take 2 breaths. But Ashley, in the meantime, are you voting for Trump?
Absolutely not.
Hell yeah, Ashley, appreciate you for coming up. And thank you so much for the booze, Jaden. You were absolutely phenomenal. W's for Jaden, man. If you're in the queue, make sure that you're voted for Trump, y'all. We are just looking for next debate. And yo, Victor! Oh my God, Victor with a $100 Venmo. Holy fucking shit, Victor. Cameron, thank you for the $2 on PayPal. And Jaden still going.
I don't want a fat puppy. Only when they're newborn.
So everybody spam W Victor in the chat for dealing with that guest. That is so incredibly kind of you, Victor. Hi, Mike. Hey, Mike from Texas. You're on the live.
Hey, thank you. I finally got here. I'm sorry I missed the earlier part. I just wanted to say, from my perspective as a 71-year-old man, first of all, hypotheticals don't work with these people, and you can't really use them.
Oh, are you a Trump supporter?
I am not.
Mike, you know what? Continue. I won't interrupt you. Speak
I just have to tell you that if anybody wants to put tariffs on my coffee, my avocados, my pineapples, or my bananas, well, I'll tell you what. I'll be there to defend the Constitution on the steps of the Congress if there's anything going on, because you don't mess with my coffee.
Hell yeah, Mike. No one fucks with your coffee. Period, Mike. Hey, have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much.
I will. Thank you.
Hey, dude, who would have imagined that 73-year-old Mike, a white man from Texas, is so goddamn chill like that? Let's go, dude. Holy shit. Oh my God. You guys are fucking going crazy on the Venmo. My God. More W Victors in the chat. Thank you so much for the $100. And Cindy, thank you so much for the $20. By the way, we are getting our next guest up in here. But thank you so much, Cindy, with the $20. She says, thank you for sharing the insights you've gained about higher levels of consciousness and for your efforts to educate those who may not have that understanding. Your commitment to raising awareness is truly commendable. Thank you so much, Cindy. You are fucking phenomenal. And Michelle, thank you for the $50 on Venmo, saying that I'm showing the patience of a saint. I couldn't deal with that insufferable guy, and I'm just listening. Oh, it was really testing me. Thank you so much for the $50. Everybody, please show some love to Michelle. Whitney, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the Patience Fund. Oh, I love you guys so much. I love y'all so much. And Caitlin with another $50. Holy shit. With another $50 for putting up with that awful guest. I love you so much. Caitlin, you are great. Thank you. Everybody, please, all at once, W Caitlin, W Whitney, W Michelle, W Lisa, W all of y'all. Thank you guys so much
there
for
you
the
are.
love.
Hello,
you guys
Dean.
are phenomenal. 1 second, Lumberjack. Good to see ya. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing to shout out here.
Go ahead. Take your
Cameron,
time.
thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal, and Glory with the $15 as well. Thank you guys so very much. And then I had one more, Natalie. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo. All right. You said in the chat that I'm taking these people's money.
You are. It's cool though. I mean, I'm not gonna get in your pocket. Make your money, player.
Well, how am I? I'm like you said, stealing.
No. I didn't say stealing.
Okay.
I would never say you're stealing if they're willingly giving it to you.
So you're donating for Trump, right?
No, I don't donate.
I know. I said voting.
Yeah. You know I'm voting for Trump.
You mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, go for it.
Would you ever vote for someone that attempted to change and rig the outcome of a federal election?
First off, you would have to prove that.
Well, I know we're operating the constraint. If this had occurred, would you vote for them? And then we can get into if this is something that Trump did. But in a general sense,
if they proved it, then no, I probably wouldn't.
Phenomenal. Great. So, Lumberjack would not vote for someone that's tried to rig and change the outcome of a federal election. So
if they could prove it.
Phenomenal. So Donald Trump has attempted to rig and change the outcome of a federal election. And the evidence we have for this is insurmountable. First and foremost, I'll lay out to you how. So Donald Trump attempted to change the outcome of the 2020 election by sending fake slates of electors with fake votes to 7 different key swing states in 2020 where he lost, right?
Okay.
But the votes that he sent them with, right, said that he won. And then he had these fake slates of electorates send those into Congress on January 6th to be counted and certified by Mike Pence is real. What is the evidence for these claims? So, these mutations, the existence of the fake slates of electors, as well videos of them and communications about them by Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman and Trump, The evidence of the fake certificates of ascertainment is, well, we have the fake certificates of ascertainment. Alongside, we have emails back and forth between those states' governor's office and congressional committees speaking about them, saying that they're not real. And then the evidence that Donald Trump is well involved with this is the fact that he's admitted it in the Supreme Court as well as in the January 6 indictments. He's currently seeking immunity by calling it an official act of his presidency. And Lydia, thank you for the $7 on Venmo.
Okay. So if you were able to vote, would you have voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016?
I mean, with like the knowledge that I'm exposed to, yes.
Cool. You would have voted for someone that sent those so-called fake Slater electorates. JFK did it. Bill Clinton did it. George Bush did it. So did the great Mitt Romney. That's all documented because, they're allowed to send, different electorates if there are it's called, back in the day it used to be called dueling electorates, as a possibility of terminology if you guys want to look that up. So Hillary Clinton was one that was the most recent besides Donald Trump that supposedly
we'll talk about Clinton because it's the most recent. There's probably the most information about it. So I just want to clarify, you're telling me that Hillary Clinton did what Trump did. So Hillary Clinton sent alternative or fake slates of electorates into Congress from different key swing states, acting as
it doesn't matter the states.
Electorate?
That's irrelevant. The states are irrelevant.
Okay, well, what states did she send them from?
I'm pulling it up 1 second.
And then what role did they play in Congress? What did they do? What did they?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
So they were casting fake certificates of ascertainments?
It's not fake if you're allowed to actually send alternate electorates.
Okay.
Let's say you're allowed to do that.
So you're not allowed to send alternate electorates from states?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Is that in the Constitution?
It's not in the Constitution.
Okay. So okay, are you disputing like what
I'm not arguing constitutionality.
Would cover and what it cover?
I'm not arguing constitutionality. I'm telling you that multiple presidents have done it, and no one until Donald Trump, no one said anything about it.
Okay, here's my response so far.
Okay.
I feel like you'd have a really hard time proving that Hillary Clinton sent these fake certificates of ascertainment. I'll give you two routes. The first route is for us to have a conversation where you can source these claims, right, and prove that this actually happened, because I don't think it did. That's a long route. That's a long conversation. Then the second route that we could take here is, well, nothing more than the fact that I can say if Hillary Clinton did, then I would not have voted for Hillary Clinton. And we can reference back to your first statement that you said you would not vote for Donald Trump if he tried to rig the outcome of an election.
I don't find
you he did,
sending alternate electorates
and you're still voting
rigging
for Trump.
I don't find that to be rigging.
Okay,
because they still have to go through the process of inputting the electors. That's not rigging. It's just kind of like with your buddy
the electorates. What do you mean by that? Are you talking about what Mike Pence certifies or doesn't?
Yeah. And what is accepted. So it's kind of like you know how your buddy when you were arguing with your buddy was arguing with Ben Shapiro, and there's certain processes put in place. Mm-hmm. The processes work. If they didn't work, or you altered the actual process, you would be unconstitutional in doing so.
I just want to verify something. So you're telling me, let's say in 2020, you and me both know that Joe Biden won Georgia. And like on their official certificate of ascertainment from Georgia's governor's office, Joe Biden got more votes than Donald Trump, and Georgia appealed their votes in the Electoral College to Biden. So you're telling me, right, if Trump sent one of these fake or alternative slates of electorates, right, proposing as if they were from Georgia with a fake altered certificate of ascertainment.
It's not fake.
It's
not fake.
No, that one is fake.
You keep saying fake. It's an alternate slate of electorates.
I said fake certificate of ascertainment, because the only place that can certify the certificates of ascertainments in accordance with our electoral rules would be the individual state's governor's office, right? And yes, those are unofficial /fake. But my question to you here is: so if Biden won Georgia, then Trump was able to get a slate of electorate with a certificate of ascertainment that said Trump won Georgia, and he sent that on January 6th to Congress, and Mike Pence certified that is real. In accordance with what you've described to us so far, you wouldn't consider that to be an attempt to rig an election or successfully rig.
No, the processes stand.
Okay, that's crazy.
To do, I mean, you can say it's crazy, but I mean, again, multiple presidents have done it over the years, and
Would you agree?
no one has ever had issues with it until this year or the 2020. And then you say, do you think that the popular votes determine the Electoral College?
It goes down to like what? Like that? I actually don't know. For like
it doesn't.
State,
it doesn't. Popular vote doesn't.
You could probably like the popular vote in the state. You could probably give me like the popular vote in like the districts. I don't know. You could probably educate me a lot on that. Like when it goes down to like that individual state level and like how the votes are delegated from the districts into the Electoral College, you could give me education on that, but that's not what we're here for, because at the end of the day, regardless of what like the specific like measures are for like how a state delegates their votes in the Electoral College, you said that if Biden won Georgia and Trump was able to get Congress to certify a vote from Georgia that said Trump won, that wouldn't be Trump trying to rig the election. I have a follow-up question. Would you agree with
Can
me?
I ask a question before the follow-up question? Keep your follow-up question. Yeah. Has there ever been any states where a particular individual won the overall vote in that state, but the electorates showed something different in the Electoral College?
I'm not sure how like the electoral processes work on a state by state basis. I only know how it works.
I mean, you're sending your electorates from the states to pose for the voting or the gathering and the certification. So that's what's actually happening in the process. There are states that have voted for a particular candidate, and then the electorates vote different than than what the people want. If I'm not mistaken, was it Nebraska? Nebraska's done it several times, if I'm not mistaken, where the overall vote of the state was different than the electorates.
So like the people like vote for someone and then the electors just decide they want to vote for someone else?
Yeah, it's happened several times.
Would you agree that in that scenario that the outcome of the election was not determined by the people?
Now we're getting into the good waters. Yeah, I would.
Okay. And do you think that in accordance with our civil and electoral processes that the outcome of an election should be determined by the people?
Yes. I
do.
do.
When it's not determined by the people, that would serve to significantly erode our checks, balances, and civil and electoral processes, and can present an unprecedented like level of an unprecedented threat to the functions of our republican democracy?
Well, yeah, that secondary word, democracy. We're not a democracy. We're strictly a republic. But
I think that
we have a democratic process.
You could say that like a representative democracy is like analogous to a constitutional republic.
It's not. But let me answer your question.
The way that I find representative democracy, it is.
Well, if you look up Training Manual 2000-25, it used to be what they would give people that entered the country to be able to become citizens of the country. Chapter 118 through chapter 122, it actually breaks down all forms and modes of government as to what they are, how they work, how they function. But I don't want to get into that. So answering your question, I would agree with you. And this is why I would push for the abolishment of the 17th Amendment, which is taking the
Is God beyond logic?
Huh?
Is God beyond logic?
He's beyond. He's beyond everything. To be honest.
Gotcha. Does God have the power to make himself no longer exist?
God has the power to do anything he wants.
Yeah. So if God used his power and turned himself into non